Hey, welcome everybody. Today we'll be doing another BBM, and we have a guest, Emocowboy. I'm sure everyone here already knows him. Welcome to the channel. Glad
Thank
to
you,
have you
brother.
on.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm psyched to finally get to draft with you, man.
Yeah,
Loving the streams, loving the content, and welcome to the streamer grind.
yeah. So like yesterday, I was expecting Sean and I to have a few more disagreements because like with his Twitter takes, I'm like 50-50 with him. But with
Mhm.
you, I assume that like I don't have a lot of Jawan Jennings, but I fully understand it, and I need more. Like,
Yeah,
but like that most of our takes, like, because like I remember in pre-draft, you and I would queue up, not even at the beginning of other people's streams, like 10 minutes in, and we would always fight for the same players.
it was
Yeah,
miserable, man.
it
I didn't like
was.
any of the drafts that you were
Well,
in.
yeah, I kept getting to pick like two picks before you, and I got all the Adams.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That was it's funny you say that because I looked at my exposures today because they're finally working on mobile regularly as I have today off, so I've been trying to like just get a little bit of unplugged time, and I was like, wow, I have a lot less atoms in pre-draft than I thought I did, and I was like, huh, I guess I didn't. I was like, I was aggressive with it. I took him in the fifth, I took him in the fourth, I took him in the third, and I'm like, I don't remember why I'm only at like 30%. And now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh, it was forced diversification.
Yeah, yeah. What is? Oh, somebody actually made a pick in the slow while I was on the clock. Hey, I'm going to say hi to everybody. Welcome, Steve. My mind is a weapon. He just went live as well.
Nice.
Lawsimo, Chad Candles, best ball on call. Awesome stream earlier. Same with Chad, Bendels, and Big Draft Energy. Yeah, I don't know if you read the.
I did. I
Yeah.
did. I I I did a double take because I was trying to be like, is he trying to be funny that it's like it's insane to even say he's worth the stack? And then I was like, oh no, it's just the spelling the last name thing, and that's totally fair. I get
Yeah.
halfway through it and I'm
I'm
like,
pretty sure I could do it, but like it's
yeah.
like humor's worth it.
Well, it'll always trip me up because I get halfway through saying spelling his name and I want to like spell Viola, like voila, and I'm like, that's
Oh.
definitely not right. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to enter the 30-second BBM right now. We got seven more to start. It may take a little while to fill. Let me go here. I was looking for a specific team that I drafted. I was kind of interested. Like I got a Jaden Daniels a 52 team, and that same team I got Rasheed Rice at in the third,
Wow.
and got Mahomes all the way back at 94 or
Nice.
whatever. And like I don't know if I bungled it or not. Like it's
Those are always the ones you're like, can I just turn it off and say I'm not at fault for why this will fall apart despite starting so strong through
well,
7?
here it is. All right.
2562.
Yeah, it's not over. So like running backs are strong, but probably need a sixth, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
especially
then
with just the Hampton Greg Roman thing. I've
and then
let I've let JJ Zacharyson talk me into like, the ceiling. I think the ceiling for Hampton is truly that just like Najee's relegated, and outside of that it's probably frustrating unless they're just blowing teams out.
I I just think Hampton's incredibly talented, and
Yeah,
I
agreed.
understand there's a risk, for sure.
Yeah.
But I love this receiving core.
Oh
Like
man, yeah.
like I got the Pat Bryant here, and by the way, Travion, yeah, he's getting some bad news, but this was a 70, right? Like I got Travion back,
Yeah,
and
Travion at 70 is like, I mean, yeah, I'm like, I think his price is, yeah, him going like above Kamara and Walker. I
yeah,
could never really, or even Connor, like like regularly going over those guys just felt wrong because like we're talking about potential workhorses that are also very talented in both phases of the game, and that's what we're hoping Travion is. And like on half PPR, I'm like, he's not Gibbs. I know that's the easy comparison, but like they're not going to be as good as Detroit was and is, and Trayvon's not as talented as Gibbs. It's similar, so it's like I like the bet
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, if he's gonna keep kind of falling into a tier of receiver, like wide receivers there are like a shrug my shoulders thing anyway. So if Travion starts going closer to that range, I'll probably start ending up with plenty because I'd rather not
Right.
take Stevenson where he's going now. To stack up Drake May stuff, and I'd gladly start making that pick as like my first or second running back in that tier, and just because if he's a good chance to outscore probably half the receivers going around him in his ceiling for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, that's a nice team.
Yeah. And then this one. Tell me, would you have went 3 quarterbacks here? I got a discount on Hertz.
Right.
I got
Mahomes
Mahomes
around
stacked up,
ADP.
and I had Bowers, and Gino was like 14 picks past ADP.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I
in years past, I probably am like, oh, like because I was, I think I was too ideological with like the if you take an elite guy, push it to those were my lessons learned coming out of last year. It was like
same.
every time I took a hero, I was like, and how wrong is to say I'm going to draft like I'm right, but I pushed that to the extreme too often where I said I'm not taking another quarterback, I'm not taking another running back. I'm pushing it to its absolute limit to fill out the rest of this team, and too often it was like forgetting that injuries happen, valleys happen, especially in the playoffs. But then also, like for the receivers and the running backs, like they can hit your flex, and it's important. So yeah, so with this team, yeah, when you've got a second round pick that you can stack up quarterback after ADP, who in like again, ceiling case, the Raiders are like top 10 in pace. They're a boon for fantasy spikes. Gino has a rushing component. I think, yeah, and also the only quarterback like
That
what
hasn't played week 17.
4 years
Yeah.
in a row
Yeah. Yeah.
4 years in a row has not played more than one of the playoff games. It's
Yeah.
fucking insane. It's like I love Hurts. I love his price. I'll have plenty. But even in like February, I was like, maybe I need to especially draft another quarterback just because Hurts has
It's
inexplicably gotten banged up late in the season and missed a couple games. And dude, that's probably been the most frustrating. Is like I've gotten teams in the finals and the last 3 years of playing serious volume. And unfortunately, so many have died because of just inexplicable injury shit, or didn't cash well for that same reason. So, for all those reasons, I think having a viable stacked third quarterback, and it's funny that the Sims are now telling us that. It's like,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
after round 14, if you can get a third stacked quarterback, that's doing a lot more for your expected team week in and the playoff, and they're like, and just like full season stuff. So,
Wasn't like
I,
the
I
biggest part of that it like helps push your elite to week 17 a lot more
right.
often. Like
Yeah.
that's like the underrated thing about it
Yeah.
is, and that's why I go like to talk about Superflex for a second. Like that's why I think you need 3 or like by round 5, like
Yeah.
just to push through those weeks. So yeah, I don't have a lot of Caleb Johnson, but like
Me
he
neither,
fell.
but yeah, when I do
I
get him
was
in,
I was
go ahead.
on the clock with the Mahomes team when the Dobbins news broke. I pulled him up to
Nice,
152.
nice.
I was on
And
the
you still have
clock.
like 20 picks of CLV on it.
Yeah, yeah. And then I mean, this team is just. I think it's loaded. This is one of my favorite teams. Got
Neighbors, Adams, Worthy, Bateman, Hollywood, Bryant, Ray Ray. Dude, it sucks that Ray Ray's a fine pick. Isn't that so
he,
depressing?
he had 600 yards last year.
No, I know, but
Like,
it's like Falcons. Instead of trading all of your picks for questionable defensive guys in the first round year over year, why don't you take a good slot receiver and a draft low? Like, dude, Jalen Knoll instead of Ray Ray McLeod. Like, what are we doing?
right? Yeah, like
I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then even
it made so much sense for them to draft one.
yeah,
Hey, well, we are in. We
nice.
have the 102. Steve has the 104. We're going to get sniped on Adam Thielen and Cam Scadaboo if you care. Losimo's got the 106. Kevin has the 109, and I believe that is it. Yeah, what's your take on spots on the board?
It's funny. I've become I have a love affair with the 11 and 12 spot this year.
Me too.
Because it
I
just feels
really
like
do.
I get to reap the benefits of the board doing normal stuff, and then if they slip up and get cute, I love it. I feel like the toughest parts to draft right now are the top like one. I can be comfortable making it my own, but yeah, this two through four is tough because it's like
So
you have to make decisions and you may get burned on what the other
I
folks
have
do.
my ranks in. If you would like me to just go by ADP, we can go by ADP. It's fine.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't think it matters too much. What are you comfortably doing? Are you yeah, I'm good with Jefferson. Yeah.
I generally like. I don't want to be underweight Jefferson. I'm fine being underweight Barkley. I don't
I
mind taking him here and there, but like, so it's pretty weird. It took a while, but like we both play on drafters as well. Saquon, I've been getting him at the 106 now
Yeah,
often.
he's been falling to like his ADP is basically neck and neck with CeeDee Lamb now at like
Uh,
4.5.
yeah, I mean it makes sense because that's full PPR, right? But
Yeah.
like he should. I
Well,
I'm so,
it's a good shout though because like one of the big components is in general, fantasy is about scoring the most points week in and week out, full season, ideally. Who smashes their ADP? And it's interesting to look at like a cumulative scoring site like Drafters, and yeah, it's PPR, but outside of that, you would expect not like major shifts of thing. Like we see the same thing with like Derrick Henry inexplicably going higher on
right.
DraftKings despite being PPR, but
Yeah,
because any site that shows points per game and ceiling games, drafters are gonna whatever. Anyway, point being, it's interesting to see who gets pulled up because of full season ADP and scoring thought processes and points per game on a site like Drafters. And yeah, you mentioning Drafters, I just was doing a batch of my slows today and noticed that Adams is basically a 2-3 turn
he is.
automatic second round pick now.
And Rasheed Rice
Um,
is like pick 17 now.
right, exactly. And which is not
And
surprising given like,
he started going at the 3-4, like he was going at like 43, 44. Like
yeah,
there, I don't think I could take a share of like in the mini too. I can, but like in the main tournament, like he's gonna be going at the 1-2 turn here soon, and like
yeah,
you're just going again, like you're replacing Amon Ra for Xavier Worthy at that point. You know, like
yeah. Which I mean, it's interesting, like I was tweeting today a little bit with Davis being engagement farming and he's great at it, saying, "Hey, I'm ready, I'm prepared to take Rice over London." Um and and some folks just like, shaking their heads at it, but it's like if you really look at this like power slot yak meta that we're in, Amon-Ra, Puka Nacua, two guys going in the first round this year, first round, first, second round picks last year. That same type of archetype of like power slot shifted around just to attack this too high defensive meta that we find ourselves in, especially with Matt Nagy Chiefs. Like they kind of were doing that with Kelsey for a while. The
yeah,
ADOT's lowered, but it's like that. That's just it's such an easy button for offenses to press once they find a guy. And it was fun to go look back because his Rice's health news has been trending really well. Obviously, Hollywood is healthy. I don't think that really matters, all things considered. But when you think about ceiling stuff, I could see Rice continuing to ascend in people's minds because Amon-Ra St. Brown,
I
after his breakout, was only like a fourth round pick that people were like, it's fluky. And even then, they didn't want to buy in at this 1-2 turn too much. I don't want to, I don't want to be out on like what the ceiling could be.
all right.
Yeah, I love Rice here.
I figured that
If
was a
nothing else, I think
no
he's going
brainer.
higher. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And like I don't mind, he was never really going at the 4-5 turn, maybe once or twice very early in BBM. So I don't mind it here, but when he gets up to this other half, I think I will have a problem with it
Hmm.
somewhat. Um, yeah, so in the mini two today, mainly to get unique, but I took Rasheed Rice over Amon Ra. at the 12-11 or 12-13.
Spicy.
Yeah. What do you think here? Do you like?
I mean, you know, I love Adams, but I also don't mind getting Trey McBride here either.
We could do either one. I'm completely comfortable with both.
Let's have a super strong 3 with Adams. And
And
my lean there is I like McBride a lot. I love the Cincy bad defense. They suck versus Titans, like week 17 thought process. I am finally, as a Kyler Bull going into this year, I am finally ready to admit Kyler's not a very good NFL quarterback. And for fantasy, he does not rush enough often to give us a ceiling we can bet on to get him into the upper echelon, because he also lacks, like, we have like a 4-year data sample now that he's been one of the worst, least efficient deep passers in the league. And it seems like despite McBride, and I think a lot of people forget, McBride had like a top 3 red zone target rate in his position, but Kyler's just kind of bad at it. So my thought process is like it seems like McBride's just falling now. Like his ADP's already dropped a little bit. I think the anchoring,
I got him
he's
at
probably
32
like Laporta last year, where like the anchoring to the 1-2 turn spots probably kept him up there a little higher. And I've just noticed people getting him in the mid third now. So I don't want to be the reason to keep him anchored there, because if the ADP market wants to give me cheaper McBride, he'll just become my new favorite 3rd round pick, because Adams and Rice will become 2nd round picks, and I'm going to need someone to take in the 3rd. So that's like my lean is like take the guy rising, let the guy fall, and I'll let that shift my exposures later on in the summer.
Kind of speaking on that too, like the whole Kyler thing. Like, I have an incredibly hard time clicking Marvin Harrison.
I don't. I just
Like,
straight up don't.
I've done it. Like, I don't know what my exposure is on it. It's not much, but like,
same.
Apparently I spell Harrison with a V. 2.1%. So like that's higher than I honestly expected it to be.
Right.
And like pre-draft, I was like 4%, and he was at the 3-4 turn. Like I didn't love the price there. I've got like 11% Jamar Chase. I've had a lot of 101s, and a lot of the time I'm at 2. The guy takes Barkley. So I have my share. So I've pulled him up once or twice just to have that combo, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean I like it.
I had 0.8% pre-draft, and my worst nightmare, 0.8, but $110. So that means that it just reminds me that those dog shit streamed bigger boards with the dipshits that are my lovely Eiffel Tower crew took a player I don't like. And then I have 1.6% through 187 right now. Yeah, I think he's one of the easiest fades at cost.
Well, I've said it for a while. I feel like the back end of the 2nd all the way to the 4th round, the entire thing just needs flipped.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, so like, I don't know, like Garrett Wilson also, like I love Justin Fields as a pick, but man, like, are we that sure about it? Like
Garrett Wilson can at least see like damn near 30 to 35% of his team targets.
Yeah.
Like I hate the click, but I understand, like, okay, if we just think the target share and he can clean up his shit and he's actually talented and Fields isn't a disaster, then, maybe he could run hot, but that DJ Moore shit was so fucking not sustainable and not repeatable. But yeah, like the Marv thing is him going over Xavier Worthy is truly laughable to me, just from the like what they showed and what they could do. See, I think he's a poor fit for Kyler.
That's a high pickings.
Yeah. I mean, he's just going to keep going higher and higher.
Yeah. So are you worried about Travis Hunter with the new Coach Speak Index stuff?
I'm not, if I believe he's talented, and I'm not worried about the floor. I'm worried about the ceiling in best ball. So all that said, I do not mind going for like a little Smith Hurts action here. Yeah, so I'm good. I'm good with Smith.
I think that's the move, especially when Burrow is still on the board.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I like I like Hunter's ceiling case plenty, but it seems like the market wants him to fall. So once again, I don't want to be in the way of that falling. Let me see where it settles. If he settles in the fifth, I'll have a shitload. Because I think at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I think at the end of the day, like the team needs an elite offense more than it needs a passable defense. And if I and before PFF completely imploded as an organization, um, one of the studies I really enjoyed from some of their folks that have moved on to awesome jobs was that the offensive line and the defense, especially the secondary, are such like weak link systems, and it's not about having in a. Uh, Jeff? Are we joking? You got a QB upgrade? Aaron Rodgers was really bad last year. He was still a better passer than, from a pass volume standpoint. Like 35% of the team targets sounds nice until you think about like this team may throw 300 passes.
Well,
And
I'm slightly fading, or I'm pretty much fading AJ Brown at this point. Like I have 2 or 3% because of the
it doesn't
target
feel
volume stuff,
good.
or because of the pass volume stuff, right? Now,
Right?
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that I'm comfortable with this, but like
Yeah.
it's basically a move that I like. The reason I'm doing it is because I love the people around him, and I think they have gigantic ceilings. That's probably not the right way to do it, but that is what I'm doing. But like Garrett Wilson could be the same thing this year. Like they're probably not gonna. They're probably gonna throw the ball among the least in the league.
So Justin Fields has had 2 300-yard passing games. So hang your hat on that. I mean, this team is obviously set up to like run the ball effectively and efficiently. Um, and that's like it.
Yeah,
We're talking like Arthur Smith levels of. I think what people were afraid of the Chargers being last year is another concern I have for um the Jets, and considering that they're like yeah, I think their best bet is to game manage Fields like Arthur Smith did, get him more efficient and limit the turnovers. And I like Fields plenty because like I think that's going to include plenty of rushing, plenty of
yeah,
designed scrambles, um, RPO type of like hit it, stick it, or run type of stuff. They've got running backs in their crew that they can do that with. But all that to put a finer point on the Hunter thing is simply that like he was taken 2 overall, and if he's very talented, I think him playing cornerback does not change the defense in a marketable way because teams can still run the ball, they can still throw to the tight end, they can still throw to the wide receiver too. It's not he has to be like Darrell Revis type of awesome, and then the rest of the defense has to be not dog shit, which it is, to truly matter. I think they'd much rather have an offense that's putting up top 10 points in the league and make Trevor Lawrence go burr before they're going to run him more cornerback than receiver seemingly. So we'll see.
yeah. Do we want to finish out wide receiver here? Do we want to take Judkins, Johnson, Swift?
I don't love any of these running backs, so yeah, I don't mind having another receiver here.
Which one do you like?
I mean, yeah, considering it's our fifth, I think Golden and Pearsall present unique upside cases. And the first round rookie for Green Bay seems like that's my preferred upside shot.
Yeah.
Um,
I will tell you this. I actually have him equal with Juwan Jennings.
well,
Like
there you go.
I'm
Sounds
like
fun.
myself, like I'm huge on him. So we could either go with like Pollard here or Laporta or just finish out receiver, call it good.
Yeah, let's finish out with the receiver. We'll be done here. We'll have we'll have plenty of stacking options with Purdy and
Yeah.
stuff, and I think a strong 6 is very fun. Because it
Yeah,
allows us to be flexible with the other positions.
it's been a while since I've went full zero RB. Honestly,
I
like
still have it in me. It's been a while since I've done it, but pissing with an elite quarterback feels
yes,
good if the room is going to give it to you.
right, and like yeah, we can absolutely be done. Our bye weeks are like almost perfectly staggered too by
Yeah.
accident, fully by accident. Like not even like we don't share any.
barbell of age too. You've got Adams over here,
yeah.
Jefferson in the middle, and then the rookies and second year guys on the back. Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
If Rice is like hobbled at the beginning, which he's not going to be, like we
Right.
have everything there, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Are you against going 7 RBs? Because
No, not at all.
I am not at
Especially
all.
if you push
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I think that's what I learned last year is that like quantity and quality matter. And just because you got all the guys you like does not mean that
You got the right
50% of
guys.
them are going to work out.
Yeah.
So, I think I did a decent job of that last year of just saying like, shit, do I need a seventh receiver or seventh running back here? And just being like, I started earlier with receiver, so let me go running back here, and that allowed me to get more late hits. My only stumbling block last year and every year is just like changing up the types of guys I get to make sure that like I'm diversifying my the guys that are on my roster. But yeah, like Swift is probably would have been like the likeliest running like anchor RB click there, but you know, it's that that feels stronger to me in PPR than half PPR because like we have seen him relegated to like a pass catcher solely type of running back who's maybe an efficient rusher. That's not my favorite type of bet to make at this cost. I think it's fine because every single guy that could have been signed that would have made me worried is now signed or accounted for. Chubb, Akers, J.K. Dobbins.
Right.
So I think like I'm not really worried about who's coming in. It's now more about just like he's maybe the most expensive archetype of his profile.
Yeah, it honestly like so I had 0 Pacheco in the big board. Like in little board too, I took some. But in like basically all my 0 stands, I took some of those players in little board too, just to kind of hedge.
Right.
And I'm actually very bullish on Pacheco, and I may actually like him more than Swift right now.
Interesting.
Like
Well, I mean, I think if you look at both of their peak roles, hard to disagree. I'm trying to listen. Yeah, JJ Zachariason is in on Pacheco for like similar reasons. Like the peripherals were really, really strong before injury. Much like Ayuk early on, I was like, I don't like the injury. I don't like the I'm spooked. But you know, strong opinions held loosely. And the last 2 weeks of info are saying, hey, the data historically tells us that like physically Pacheco should be close to 100%
right
by week 1. And now it just becomes, do they give him all the work with the new toys in town or not? And so like that's a different risk profile at cost than the injury stuff. So now I'm just trying to like get the bad taste out of my mouth to say that like he's a much better click than B-Rob and maybe Swift in that range, even if it's not my favorite type of click. So I'm trying to come back around and adjust.
I think B-Rob is easily the worst of those 3.
Oh, the price is egregious.
Like
the price
but
is
like
egregious.
here
as our first running back in a good offense, it's hard to argue.
So like if we hit just RBs, this is what we have.
Yeah, it's all the prices I disagree with, but the market is the market.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fine. I did go, but like B-Rob had more spikes before his injuries than I had given him credit for.
Oh, dude, I had him in my 250. I did a drafters 250 draft last year, and I went like basically 2 RBs, and B-Rob was one of them, and then like 0 RB after that.
Yeah,
and my team was so loaded, but I had 0 running backs the second half of the season.
Oh,
like I was number 1 after like 4 weeks and didn't even cash.
It's probably running back here, but I just want to check the board to make sure there's not something easy. Okay, there's not. All right, cool. So I see you have Scatabo ranked the highest. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I know I know that for like a week and a half he fell to like the 118, 120s. I don't care. I'm assuming you like him much more than Warren given your rank.
I mean, we do have a team stack with Jordan Mason if we want to go that way.
Yeah, the pass catching thing is like
I agree. Like I love Jordan Mason, but like
Mason's almost a 0 in the pass game, and Scatabo's whole thing is he could be, catching 40, 50, 60
Right.
targets this
We
year.
have to hit an upside play at
Yeah.
running back going 0. So like,
Yeah.
and not that Mason couldn't be a smash, but like, which one has
Mason's
the
pretty much only a smash if he Jamal Williams his way
right?
into double-digit touchdowns with a healthy Jones, or B, which I think is that would be a bet against Jefferson in that world, was our second overall pick,
Right.
or Aaron Jones goes down. And I at cost, I'd rather make picks that don't have such binary outs. Because
If
Cam Scadabo's upside is he's a 5th-round pick next year that we probably avoid in the Dane Pierce mold, because he took all the work and did really well and was a great pick in the 9th through 11th round, but he's a shaky, 5th, 4th-round pick now type of, like the Pacheco 3rd-round
yeah,
fade that probably only got by because of injury, if I'm being honest.
right. Yeah. So you say the Aaron Jones trade or the Aaron Jones fade and or injury. Like you said that, and all I think of is Minnesota trading the 7th round for Cam Akers. Like once a kid. Like
God, we have the chance to do the funniest thing, and it's every year trade for Cam Akers after they let him walk.
yeah, yeah.
Genuinely fuck, because
Like
he's on the
like
Saints.
I that's what
The
I'm
Saints
rooting for.
don't need him, and they totally
No,
would
they
be like,
don't.
"We'll take a 6th." Oh my God, that's the only reason why they actually signed him. Gigabrain. It's not
Yeah,
because Kendrick Miller sucks. It's not because Devin Neal sucks. It's because they know that the Vikings will give them a 6th-round pick
yeah.
for him
It's
in
just a
week
free
8.
draft pick. Like it's better
It's
than a
free money.
compensatory pick. It's
Oh my God, I love that. That's so fucking funny. Cam Akers
yeah.
is the best last round pick on every site, just because some fucking team will trade for him for inexplicable reasons and give him
I,
work.
I've actually been mixing him into the slows, like the time box slows
I don't think it's
here and there.
bad. I mean,
Yeah.
you get signed like that at this point. Um, it's a good sign, especially because he got red zone work on both the Vikings and the Texans last year. So it's just
Yeah,
like he's gonna mix in.
that's pretty funny.
That's
Like
perfect. Yeah. Jesus, that's funny. Teams are so funny, man. They do
yeah,
such.
they are.
They are the kings of going back to their ex
And
after only a month.
we can add Jerry Jones and Zeke to this. Like
God, yeah,
yeah.
dude. I don't think people remember, or maybe they didn't know. Dallas paid Zeke twice last year. They were already paying him when
Right.
they
Yeah.
waived him for the original contract. The reason why they brought him in for so little money was because they were already paying him for that contract extension 4
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
So they were paying him twice and not playing him very much. It was insane behavior. Yeah, it's literally
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
flipping, and teams still do it. Teams
Well,
still
like
get God.
that's why Baltimore re-signed Deontay Johnson last year, was because if Deontay
Yeah.
Johnson made more than 2.5 million this year,
Yep.
they just get like re-signing him to a minimum contract. It's basically just paying money to get a
Yeah.
compensatory pick.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
purely
Najee
fair.
here would be fantastic for what we're
Yeah,
doing.
I
I
hope
don't.
the 1-4-1-3 team doesn't take a 5th running back, but they might. They seem unhinged enough to do that.
Yeah, they did not.
Nice. Yeah, I'm good with Najee.
I don't get to very much, and I like for a 0 RB team, he is an absolute smash. I
I mean, like
I
he's slightly better Zach Charbonnet, so at this cost, that's more than fine.
yeah, we'll click ADP real quick. Look at so we will have to end up getting. We might need to pull Jordan Love up to get our second quarterback, or we just wait for
We've got
Stafford.
JJ
Oh
McCarthy in our
yeah,
back pocket.
how
We're fine.
far? I mean, he's halfway in between. Like we would have to.
We have Hurts. I'm comfortable because we've also got
Yeah, me too.
Scatterbo, so we could always do like a little bit of dart stuff.
I'm fine backstacking too
Yeah, we'll
as
be
well.
fine.
Yeah. Um. So do we need to look at running back and tight end here?
I
Tyler
think we just
Warren.
get another running back. I think Tootin in this build is two vets, two boring vets, two exciting rookies. We only need one of them to really smash.
Yep.
Ramondre is fine. He's just my least favorite type of pick because I so easily see how he's relegated, quite frankly. If you want to pull up Dobbins, I'm good with that. But I think
Yeah.
maybe I want to get greedy. I want to get greedy in the build
Yes.
like this.
Right. Like I said when we took the Scattaboo versus Mason, like we have to hit
Yeah.
on a big swing. Like at some point, go in zero RB, but you also need to do exactly what we're doing and layer it with some volume. Like we have like
You don't want to take zeros for 4
yeah.
weeks because you will not survive your pod.
And that's something I did wrong with this. Like I last year a little bit. Like I didn't layer my running back rooms when I went zero RB well enough.
Yeah. Yeah, if you take a swing for the home run every single time, that's cool. You will just burn more entries than you don't.
Hey, welcome AP. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, and man, I'm not scared on Tootin. Like, oh, he fumbled his first snap. Like when's the last time that went wrong? Last year with my 40% Dylan Laube and drafters,
Yeah. Oh god, that's funny.
like so
Thank God I saved myself. When I saw that he was only practicing with the special teams folks, I was like, well, okay, if I miss out on the special teams
it,
guy, that's a PPR scam, so be it. But
so I will defend myself. It was the right read because the read was their offensive line is horrendous and Zamir White was not going to be able to perform in that, and that they were going to need somebody with the ability to do the pass catching stuff, which is why Amir Abdullah was a smash. So
yeah,
I identified all of that correctly, and I was like, why would a team that's going to suck start a veteran over a rookie that they drafted?
because
So
the
like,
coach is a former player that likes to trust
yeah,
his.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so that's the part I
yeah.
misread. But like
Well,
my
and
logic towards it
that's
was
fine. Yeah.
fine.
Well, and I will go so far as to say that it was a process win for two
Yeah,
reasons. The biggest reason is that if you're going to have a miss with your last round picks, you avoided and I don't
yeah.
remember how high he was going, but let's say between round 7 and round 10. Because remember, that was
Zamir,
about the range he
yeah.
was going between January and August.
I had like 1% Zamir,
Right.
like
So you
maybe.
avoided what was the most obvious dead zone back avoidance of all time. Which is a great process win. And one of the things I've tried to learn from that is I'll call it the Marshawn Lloyd lesson. If you're fading that guy, mix in multiple shots of the guy. If it's not truly clear who
Yeah,
the RB2 is, especially with injuries and stuff,
right.
take multiple shots. So like this year, if you're not taking a lot of Kyron, have equal amounts of Corum and Hunter because you don't know which one is actually going to be used if it happens. And if
Yeah.
one of these guys does get standalone role, it's
Well,
not clear who it's going to be right now. It might not be clear who it's going to be till like mid season, quite frankly. Don't box yourself out of a process win with too
yeah.
narrow of a focus on the
Well,
one way to avoid.
especially when you have a ludicrous number like 40%. Like like I
Yeah.
had room to add 5% of the other guys,
Right. Yeah.
Like I had room. Like it
It's one
was
of the reasons why this year I've been mixing
yeah.
in guys like Alexander Madison. Like everybody wants it to be Ollie
and
Gordon for the big
and
role. What
and
if it's the
Mostert.
veteran? They already did that with Mostert. I know Mostert's better than Madison, but like, would it shock any of us if a team decided the
Madison gets
big,
carries every year somehow.
yeah, it's
Somehow,
just
like he does.
guys that earn coaches trust. It's not that surprising to me that a veteran, like especially in Tua's case, and I'm agreeing with the thought process here with you for sure. Who is the coach going to be more comfortable with putting in front of suit brain Tua to protect him? Ollie Gordon, the rookie, or the guy that's protected quarterbacks
Well,
for 5 years?
Jordan Love went. So do we take
That's
Goddard
okay.
instead?
I love Tucker. Let's grab Tucker.
Okay.
I'd
I
rather.
actually think that's like I really like him a lot more too.
Me too. Yeah.
Man, I had no problem taking Tucker at 110 in big board. And I don't feel bad about any of those shares at
No,
all.
him
Like
getting
I
cheaper makes 0 sense. I really
yeah.
don't understand it
I
at
mean,
all.
it's the whole a lot of people are going to two tight ends because of the 18 rounds thing. So like but you I say that, but then I don't see people actually doing that.
No.
All right. So what do we want to do? I think there's a big tier break here at running back as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think
So do we want to add Wyatt Garendo or Goddard for the stack?
Let's grab White. I think he's such a solid play at
Me too.
cost, and we'll say that. And the only reason why I'm saying that now is I would love to add Goddard, but we already do have Smith, and we've learned that like skinny stacking rushers is probably better than mega stacking them. And I want to maintain flexibility for our later quarterbacks, and there's a chance that taking Goddard there kind of makes it an uncomfortable build late to try to, stack up any back stack quarterbacks we have.
And one thing with Kraft here, like if we come around and like Britton Strange, who randomly is falling now, I don't know. Have you noticed this over the last couple days?
Yeah,
Strange
and
in like the
I'm hitting it with
180s
way more
here
than I
and there.
had. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not saying I would love to stop at Tucker Kraft to Bretton Strange, but I'm not uncomfortable doing it if something happened to where we had to either.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd rather.
I mean, I'd rather go 3. Like
end of
our
the
first
day,
one's in round 12, but
for sure.
But Tucker Kraft, I think, is so undervalued that, and I like you also follow Coach Beak and you remember all of it just like I do. Like the stuff they were saying about Tucker Kraft back in February was pretty strong.
Yeah, the Musgrave, missing the forest for the trees because they gave Musgrave the first shot. That did not mean that they were going to give him another shot. When quite frankly, Tucker Kraft makes he fits this offense so much more. Like this team likes to dink, dunk, and yak, and Tucker Kraft does that really, really well.
Yeah.
I know the staff invoked the name of Devontae Adams with Dontavian Wicks 3 times in the last 18 months. They've also been asked, hey, do you see yourself using Tucker Kraft as your George Kittle? And they said, yes, absolutely. Right. And then for that, I don't get the following because for 5 months, every time the staff has talked about Kraft, it is some of the best glowing, player review stuff of all time. They're like, what he does is so awesome. His work ethic's awesome. We want to get him the ball more. We want to work with him more. And now even Jordan Love is like, we're looking for more. Like he's like, they're all saying we're trying to involve him more because he's one of the most consistent parts of the offense. And when you look at last year, he had less drops than either one of Reed or Wicks. So it's it makes sense to just run it more through the guy that's catching the ball and getting upfield.
I mean, that's not really a glowing endorsement. Less drops than those two.
Well, no, I'm saying it's not shocking that contextually they would want to make more opportunities for the one guy who's consistently catching the ball and getting past the sticks. Like that makes all the sense in the world. Instead of saying, "Hey, can these guys catch the ball better?" It's can we drop more opportunities for Kraft? Because they also say they want the passing game to be more consistent. They want to move the chains more often.
Right.
And for Love, that probably means ramping down the ADOT and having more easy button plays. And we know that McFleur runs this Shanny style offense that does that anyway. So yeah, Kraft is just highly efficient. He's young. He looks like he's primed. He already kind of broke out last year. He was getting full snap shares. Saw a couple of high target games. Like he could be one of these rare early rookie contract breakout tight ends on his trajectory, and it wouldn't shock me in the least. He kind of reminds me of Goddard, who was always going low but seemed really talented. And the second he had the full-time role to himself, we were taking him in the 8th round.
Yeah, two things about this. Number one, the Luke Musgrave stuff, he's finally healthy. People some people actually like him, but let's say Luke Musgrave actually is good. Well, their wide receivers aren't, so they could just run 12 personnel, you know? Yeah. I don't understand how that should affect Tucker Kraft very much at all.
Especially at these costs. It's not like you're losing out on much.
And number two, heads up, I would almost I kind of like Tucker Kraft to outscore Laporta this year. Just heads up.
It wouldn't shock me. I mean,
I wouldn't put it at 50-50. I'd put it 35-65 in Laporta's favor, but it wouldn't shock me if it happens,
Well, no tight end scoring more than another tight end wouldn't shock me because it all just comes down to touchdowns. Also, people forget Tucker Kraft is an awesome athlete, 9.68 RAS. He shows that off in his yak. And then I want to say
we got the blessing of Steve, by the way.
Oh man, you know what? It feels good to when guys like JJ and Steve are like, I totally agree. I'm like, Suck it, best ball guy.
It
Yeah,
all comes
I
back to
just
the
trust
Eiffel
that
Tower.
I just trust that the staff is going to just keep feeding the ball to the guys that are playing really well, and I'm not going to worry. Yeah, he was just so efficient, and so far if the staff was going to throttle
Steve,
up
you're on the
Musgrave,
clock.
they would actually do that. Instead, they're like, we want to get him more involved.
All right,
Unless he
so
started really running back heavy, I'd be pretty surprised.
he took Stafford. Literally, okay. We do need another quarterback.
Do we want to backstack Seattle or Vegas? I'm okay backstacking Vegas. Well,
Okay.
no, not with receiver. So it'd be Naked, Smith, or
I kind of prefer
that's fine.
backstacking Seattle.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
If we're gonna do that, we could take Thielen for the bring back, but it's fine. Like we'll just take Darnold.
Yeah, let's try to avoid taking another receiver just because we did say.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Which is why I was like, I guess if we take Geno, we can't do Tucker or.
So what did
Thornton.
Steve have? He's going to backstack it with 2-2. So a little lower after this pick. Take our next tight end, probably.
Let's grab Rico. I think Rico is a tier break at running back. I'm assuming Roshan's
that would be our last running back. Do we not want a rookie upside guy at the end?
We've got two of them who I think are pretty solids, and I think Rico's mispriced as a contingent back who mixes in the pass game.
And he
and it's correlation with Darnold anyway. We didn't go Thielen bring back, but we got the Rico bring back.
So 2 times on stream, I've got Bijan Puka in Superflex, and both times Steve has stole Matt Stafford from me, like one pick in front of me.
Yeah, I was
the next
on
like
loop walk when I heard
and
that.
he backstacked Stafford in that, which is Superflex. You backstack all the quarterbacks. Here we have Devontae Adams with only one quarterback, and Steve takes his third quarterback, and Stafford smashes us.
Scroll back up real quick to the top of the draft. Out of curiosity. Okay, he had T.
I mean, he has the Bijan.
I was like, was he trying to do 3 unstacked?
No, he's got the Bijan. He's going to bring the correlation in the week 17 game. I like what he like. I'm just kind of talking shit for fun. Like what he did is smart. Like he did fuck us, but yeah,
he did fuck us. But yeah, if he goes, well, he's got 7 receivers. So if he does Tutu and Higbee, he's kind of taking out of structure. But I'm assuming he's gone heavy enough at running back that he'll be all right.
No, like
I mean, Rob?
It's not like Steve's like trying to ruin our team, you know. Like
I disagree, Steve. These goddamn RTAs are in Steve's head, ruining our team. We'll never recover.
He noticed what the most elite talent in this room was, and he targeted it. And he's trying to bring us down. That's what he did. No, like I'm sure there's a lot of people building. Like Lossimo always builds solid. Kevin always, like everybody in the Who crew always builds solid teams. Like
yeah. Streamed BBMs are so not fun because you get the least amount of fun values, you get the least amount of soft rooms for the most part.
A lot of the ones I've been doing, like the one we did yesterday with Sean, worked out very well. Like everything we wanted just fell right to us. Like a couple picks past ADP too. Like not a lot, but like a couple picks.
Yeah. I mean, it is obvious. Like the BBMs I rip at like 9 or 10 at night are so much different than
so you were speaking on Derrick Henry and DraftKings. I was doing my button hooks the other day. And it, you know how every once in a while it doesn't refresh right?
Yeah.
I logged in and it gave me 2 players I have hard fades on. Nice. And it was Almond in the first and Henry in the second. And it's like, and like Almond, I'm fine getting some Almond.
Amon-Ra on DraftKings, I think that's a scary fade.
Yeah, I mean, I just have him at like at a 12 or whatever. Like I have him as the last receiver. It's not that I have him as the last receiver in all formats of the elite tier.
I've definitely got him behind Nico in most cases for sure.
I was just shocked that I autoed and at pick 16, like number one, how high is Amon's ADP? Like it took him at, I think I was at pick 8, and Derrick Henry wrapped all the way back around on DraftKings. Like I've never seen him even get past pick 9. Like,
He goes in the first
like
round. He goes in the first round regularly in
yeah,
my
like,
DK.
and I'm
Yeah,
like, are you kidding me? The only time it doesn't happen, I get him.
yeah, that's funny. But like, if you're gonna end up with Henry, end up with the cheapest Henry on the entire platform potentially.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, it's a good hedge, I guess. You know.
I think it's a good hedge in general to have the cheapest
Yeah.
guys be.
All right. So tight end. Uh, I know who I want at tight end. I want Arroyo with one of these two picks for sure.
If we're
Do
going
you?
free tight end, I don't mind just nabbing Otten in the
Sounds
Tampa
good.
Bay offense.
And I don't say we have to take Arroyo with the next pick. We could finish out our running backs and then
Well,
just take
so
a
that's
third
what
back.
I was going to ask you about. Do you want to take a third quarterback or not? Because earlier you said Rico was going to be your last running back. So I'm just trying to check in with you to see how
Uh,
you want to finish this team out.
I mean, I at first I was thinking about going 7, but I think we came back at running back just fine. Like
I don't think we need to go 7, but if you wanted to go 7, I wouldn't fight you.
I'm fine with any of those. Like we do need a third tight end for sure. Uh,
Well, so
running,
I'll ask it this way: do you want a 7th running back or a third quarterback more? Because that
I
seems to be the choice.
I feel like the quarterback
I would
probably
agree.
is probably the right
Then
call.
let's grab Dart, do a little Dart Scatabo, week
Sounds good.
17 playoff play.
And then we have Darnold for the first half of the season, then Dart for the
Right.
back half of the season on different teams.
Well, hey, guess what? Fun fact is that the first 8 games for the Giants are pretty brutal. So
Yeah.
Dart's first start could be week 9.
And then we can just go ahead and queue those two up. And
Yep.
if either one of
Bingo,
them make
bingo.
it, if either one of them make it, like we get them. If not,
Yeah.
we just take a guy.
Naked Darnold, like he's got some rushing to him. It's if one of our quarterbacks is unstacked, but he's probably a little underpriced, and we have some correlation just to get Hurts to the finals, or if Hurts isn't
Yeah.
available in the finals, we just have a quarterback score. There's worse bets to make.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, our wide receiver room is pretty nuts. Like Jefferson, Rasheed Rice, Adams, Devontae, Golden, and
Yeah.
Pearsall.
I have a sneaking suspicion that if there was zero bench risk with Darnold, he'd be going 30 picks higher than Geno. And I guess that was the struggle for us is like Geno's the safer pick, but we've seen Darnold have a higher ceiling, and we were going to have neither one of them stacked until the late rounds. So, you know, Jeff.
Yeah, I and like going back to, and as Slayton missed earlier in the stream, we were talking about like
Yeah,
how Hurts is the only, like we like 3 quarterbacks with Hurts because he never plays at the end. But
yeah.
we coupled that with Sam Darnold, who has a potential chance to not play the whole season.
Yeah, I
Like
spent way too much time in the ship chasing Discord this morning arguing that I think the bench risk is a little overblown. Yeah, a KOC offense, sure, but they did go get a Shanny disciple in Kubiak, who Carr had several multi-touchdown vertical. Like, I don't want folks to like Darnold's best plays and best games last year was a vertical passing, like deep sideline passing the ball. The Vikings O line wasn't that good when the injuries stacked up. And so, like, yeah, I have concerns about Seattle's O line, but the contract they gave him was pretty much what Baker Mayfield and Geno both got a couple years ago. It's not super easy to get out of next year. They're better off restructuring it than cutting or trading, just how it's written. Milroe's a 3rd round quarterback with accuracy issues and one of the highest pressure to sack rates of any mobile quarterback. It's like triple what like Fields and ARs was in college. And Clint Kubiak has a vertical style offense. So it to me, it's
Yeah.
pretty good signal that they went and gave him a decent contract, paying him decent money, and they're trying to fit, the offense to this. They bring in MVS, who's a vertical guy. JSN, we know, has some verticality to his game, and he can do it. And then signing Cooper Kupp, like to me, that's not a team that's ready to like bench their quarterback. Like I think their best bet is to get 2 good market value years out of Darnold and figure it out versus
I
benching him late in the season and being in no man's land.
I agree with everything you said. I just think that offensive line is atrocious.
It's hard to disagree, but what
And,
if the
and
coaching is
like
ready for it? I don't know.
right, and like that is my only worry with the situation.
Yeah.
So if he goes, who do we take? Harold Fannin?
I don't think Fannon's a good pick in the 18th round. Yeah, I'm good with Arroyo.
Yeah.
I said it on. I wish they would just like cut Fant so it was clear that Arroyo and Barner were their main guys. But
Yeah.
I can also understand a team saying we want depth at worst. So my hope is that Arroyo overtakes Fant for this passing role and hopefully just takes on the full 3-down workload for it. But in week 17, all we need is them to just connect on a random touchdown, which Seattle rotates guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with any of that, but we've been too bearish on the Seahawks, the Bucks, and the Chargers in the last 4 years. So I don't want to like. My thing is, if everybody agrees Darnold's a bench risk, that line is bad, and Seattle's fucked, then it's probably not a bad idea to just sometimes veer towards, but what if they're fine?
Right.
And
And like we honestly didn't really have a choice. Like Cam Ward goes
no,
20
we
picks
didn't.
before ADP.
Yeah,
Stafford goes right before us. Bryce Young was kind of at ADP, but we didn't have a chance
we
at him.
got no falling value at the turn. You got to do what you got to
Right.
do.
And we had to pull somebody up. So it was either Darnold, Gino, or we could have taken
Or
Gino at ADP,
it,
but like he's harder to backstack.
yeah.
And like it was him, Daniel Jones, or Aaron Rodgers.
Well, again, to the chat, our lean there was that we don't think they're too different of bets, and we've seen Darnold have like just inexplicable two like he scored like what 5 rushing touchdowns in 3 starts with Carolina a couple years ago. So like Darnold will just scramble. It inexplicably. That's not bad. He scrambles more than Gino sometimes until like last year. And we'll just say that like yeah, it was either take one of Gino or Darnold, and we decided we think we could take Darnold and stack him and stay in structure. We did not want to take a 7th receiver in this build, and we succeeded in doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that was good. That was prudent.
Right.
So,
And that's why the Darnold pick was better than
right, it
Gino.
was. And then because if we don't do that, then we are praying that we get both of Dart and Shuck, who I don't like that much, as our 2 guys. And now we're really thin if Hurts misses any time in the front half of the season.
Yeah.
Now we're just taking a 0. I'm not comfortable with that in this contest because we guys, we don't have to be perfect. We have to be directionally right and lucky. And we built to get lucky.
Right. Yeah. And that's something that I've pointed out with like the few teams that I have had last year that did well. Like they were more dumpster fires than like the rest of my teams.
Yeah,
like they were the worst teams I built. It's like what?
Yeah.
How
A
did
lot of
this
teams
work?
are going to die. A
Yeah.
lot of teams are going to die. A lot of teams are going to be built poorly. Pods are fucking weird. You're going to have sick ass teams score dick because they had some bad games, some bad luck. We were all there. We've all seen it. I remember all the bad beats I got last year with these teams not missing the cut. And then you if you get an ugly, stupid fucking team into the finals, boom, you're feeling great, So, yeah, the Horton thing, I wish MVS wasn't already there, knew the OC and wasn't coming off an undisclosed knee injury from last year. Because if it's ACL, it's tough. So like there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons how the Seattle offense can be extremely condensed and consolidated to Cup, JSN, MVS, Walker, or Charbonnet, whoever's healthy at running back. And if they're not bad, it's fine.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and read off the team. We ended with a 3-6-6-3. Quarterbacks: Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold, Jackson Dart. Running backs: Brian Robinson Jr., Scattaboo, Najee Harris, Bajal Tootin, Rashad White, Rico Dowdle. We layered in some touches there with two potential spike guys. I really like that. Jefferson, Rice, Adams, Devonta Smith stack, Matthew Golden, and Ricky Pearsall. That's, I mean, you can't really ask for a much better room than that.
No, that's a gorgeous room, and it just
Like,
sucks. We almost got Love and Tucker after
yeah,
ADP for the stack.
almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's why you
Uh,
take Hurts. You push it, and
yeah.
it's all right.
Yeah. Right. And then we got Tucker Craft, K. Dotton, and Arroyo as a late season upside pick. Like, this team is thin, but it could, like, if it gets there, it's going to get there hard. And that's what you want.
Man,
Like,
that's that's
yeah, you got
that's
to get
my
it
that's my
really
life's
hard.
mantra.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Uh, I'm going to do another draft.
Yeah, let's do another
You're
one.
welcome to say,
I'll
but
rip one more with you. Yeah.
all right. Do you like weekly winners at all?
I
Or
I
would you rather do
dabble.
a
I will dabble in whatever you'd like.
Okay, so I'm fine doing an eliminator. I have one more schnauzer too. I could do before I start doing slows, and I could do like I probably can't fill a sprint. So
What
I
is
don't
what
do
is
very
your
many BBMs. So
what is your heart call to you?
I mean, you're not a super flex guy, so we will. Oh no, let's ask the chat. Just eliminator, weekly winners, or the schnauzer two. And then whatever people say,
I feel like the way you said Schnauzer too, it would really hurt you to
Schnauzer.
lose that last one.
Ooh.
I know I burned
I
my last one a week ago, and I just stare at it, go like, oh
no, I have
God.
11 of them left, but the last 10 are going to be slows.
I got you. I got
Like,
you.
I'm doing that for sure. All of my slows have filled basically.
Let's do an eliminator just because I think people are probably doing them poorly, and even though late info is best, I think sharp drafters can avoid uh
Sounds good.
some of that run bad.
All right, sounds good. We will do one. It's impossible to get them to fill at 30 seconds. So I'm popping in a 20-second eliminator right now.
Well, since we
Yeah,
speak the same language, we will be fine operating
yeah,
with 20 seconds.
right.
I don't
And
have to.
it's
I don't have to reason with a madman on a short clock.
I just love watching it where you guys are. It's just like I'm sitting there watching you, like your just head explode because they're so like structurally everything's going to crap in one pick, and it's like, oh man, this is
Dude, so
great.
I can't wait to see how many dog shit stream drafts I have with all three of us because it's gonna be
No,
brutal.
I all of my streams I put 3 asterisks on. That way, if I do advance a team, I know which ones they were. Basically,
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's just what I use to signify it. The 3 stars stands out, and then if I have a guest on, I put their name after it. And then like if I go like, and I even do this with like if I go to a Fantasy Sanctuary stream, and I draft with them, I actually don't put the stars there and then write their name at the end, so I know which one to go back to,
Yeah, I used to do
and
the
I have the
same
date.
thing
Yeah,
before I started streaming. Yeah, I liked to note which streams I was drafting on so that if it did anything, come on, brother. I could go back and watch the stream and see how the team went down.
yeah.
Now that I stream, yeah, the nomenclature has had to I pretty much had to drop any like info about the team so that I can capture who I'm drafting with, who I owe equity to. It's become very much not fun. What's up,
Well,
Steph?
hey, what's up, Steph? I yeah, I mean, I just put the like the team stacks I have because it's never more than 3 with hyphens in between it, and then the date, and then the stars, and then I have enough for like 5 digits after that. So like it works perfectly.
How do you feel about these guys? I've seen a few folks that like use like emojis and icons to name what the team was. So they use like
Yeah.
the
Could,
like they want to sell you. They want to say how they started their draft with like
Yeah,
the colored
with the
rectangles
boxes.
and then the fucking animal things. And dude, nothing irrationally aggravates me more than seeing that naming nomenclature because I'm like what a non-intuitive syntax to me. Like team name, all that shit. Like I get like 0 RB, blah 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 blah. Like that all clicks to me. Like I put like piss, quarterback, yada. That all makes sense. I see colorful icons and things, and I'm like, what is this rubbish? This is hieroglyphs.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that I need to start naming my teams on my phone so I can add color, and I'm like,
It's overrated.
what? What?
I see it and I
Like,
have no idea what to
no.
make of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is I want anyone to be able to read it to know what the fuck it's
I,
talking about.
I'm assuming like, and this is just an attack, but I'm gonna assume that those are the same people that drafted in light mode.
uh dude,
It's just-
I'm still not used to it. I'll see these screenshots for
yeah,
like Underdog Cardio Club and I'm just like, oh my God. Of
right.
course, we're getting all the early picks out of our system here.
All right. So hey, we got at the top Steve up here at the 102.
Mm-hmm.
We got the 3. Losimo's got the 4. Nick has the 5. Chad Candles has the 7.
Charlie in the 8.
Charlie, I don't know if he's in the Who crew, but I know
He
him.
is he's a ship chaser for sure.
Yeah.
So
FK Coolers here at 9. Bitcoin at 11. Don't Blink at 12. We got an entire room probably full of
Bitcoin follows me around on drafters. I'm almost never in a draft without Bitcoin in it.
really. Hey, what's up, Charlie?
There he is.
Yeah, I see him in drafters all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like half of the $2 minis I've done have had him in it.
I hate when I see
It's
a
so
bunch of us in rooms. I'm just like, come on, man. You'll be some soft shit.
so yesterday I was in a room at like 11 a.m. on drafters, and this dude like it was the worst team I've ever seen built. And the guy set his ranks and he forgot he queued up, and he came back in like round 17. He had 0 wide receivers through 14.
That's truly impressive and hard to do. I feel like. Yeah, I'm good with Bijan.
All right. Yeah,
Floor and ceiling are just so solid for eliminator. Yeah.
I don't know if you have looked at the chart I made, but I have this with all the bye week, all the weeks, like the first
Nice.
6 weeks that I have. So like New England here, and this is
Mhm.
public knowledge. If people want it, I'll just put it in the descriptions. Like New England's start is awesome.
Yeah.
A little known thing, and I bring it up every time I do an eliminator. This is a double revenge game. Like the Pittsburgh versus the Jets week 1 double revenge game. It's just kind of funny that happened.
I can't wait for that game to be 13-10 and
yeah,
totally
yeah. Arizona's got an awesome start too.
Yeah,
New Orleans,
that's
Carolina,
nice.
San Francisco, Seattle, Tennessee, Indy.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are, and like Denver, Tennessee.
Oh my
Indy,
God! Yeah, no,
Northeast
Denver's
Tennessee.
got us like cupcakes off 4 weeks.
Yeah, and then like so, and one thing I noticed is that Lamar, where's the Ravens at? So like they have, is it Jaden Daniels? One of the so Drake May, like his only bad week to start is
Maybe
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh, yeah.
and one of the elites have like, and I think it was Fields actually, because yeah, it's Fields because Fields gets Tampa Bay that week. So like you get Vegas. Like I kind of like that combination. I've done a lot of looking at this format.
I like that call out. I think it's really good for like running backs especially. Like I think like the rush and pass defense, it's like who's set up for shootouts and easy touchdowns or who is set up for I think one of the reasons I think it's that the Chargers rush defense projected schedule right now is pretty tough and it gets brutal in the back half. So yeah. I think I think it's good to look at. Yeah, I mean, like I think treat eliminators like you would treat your week one head-to-head fantasy matchups when you're scouting defense and you're scouting player starts. Is like, yeah, try to avoid some of these buzzsaw
Well, I mean, to be honest,
defenses or offenses that like get to slow starts.
I just give a soft bump to every NFC South team.
Very fair.
Like, it
Very
is one
fair.
thing that I
Hey,
do.
you know what? It just occurred to me. In the eliminators, draft only the Saints because in the first 2 weeks for 5 years in a row, they have been Super Bowl champions.
They were so good last year.
They were good the year before that. They get up to such hot starts.
So KC plays the Chargers week 1 in Brazil, if that
I
matters.
mean,
One team smashed last year.
You don't think
One
Rashee Rice is putting up the game of his life again in front of all those big booty Latina ladies? I do. I do.
Yeah.
Dude, Green Bay Philly in Brazil last year was awesome.
Yeah, it was really good for the Eagles fantasy wise. Like, it was so good.
Well, like Rice's profile to me, like, he's
And
starting week 1 with almost no physical limitation that we can tell right now. And if it is, his role is power slot, target hog. Like, when you're talking about floor and ceiling, he and Kelsey are eating right now in the red zone periods. Not shocking. Like we saw Rice and or Juju in that role eat in the red zone, and like he was getting like 10 and 12 targets a game. Like there might not be a safer. He's like CeeDee Lamb's type of floor in this contest.
All right, so we got Chase Brown here, same bye week, different position. Do you hate elite tight end in this?
I don't hate it, but I'm
fine with whatever here.
Let's go Chase. I think there's a chance that
and they have a pretty strong start too, by the way.
Yeah, they've been talking about trying to get off to a hotter start, and I wonder if that's in leaning into the run game.
Yeah, so they play Cleveland week 1, which isn't great, but Jacksonville and then Minnesota they literally have like the worst start you could possibly get, actually. Like Minnesota, Denver, Detroit's going to be decent, and Cleveland, like that's pretty rough.
I don't know. Cleveland's defense has been worse than advertised. Their quarterbacks are atrocious. I could see a lot of short fields for them. And then for Minnesota, Denver, and Detroit, I think all three of those the defenses are strong to great, but the offenses should all push them to have to score.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's all we're really worried about is like
it all comes down to, is Joe Burrow going to score a bunch of points? And the answer is probably yes.
The fun gigabrain there for Chase Brown is that he's not my favorite click in the world, but we've seen Zach Taylor in his offense every fucking year in a row. They start slow offensively, but it's because they're going towards the run game so much. So Chase Brown might see his heaviest workload the first few weeks as they try to establish a rhythm. And I mean, that's not a bad tiebreaker, because if they just start hot, then you've got a running back hopefully seeing 60-75% of the work in a high scoring offense. There's worse bets to make.
And what you were saying, like the start hot, like they literally just said, we're going to play our starters during preseason.
Yeah, we don't want to have to. Yeah, we don't have to use the first 4 weeks to get in a rhythm with the starters. Yeah.
Yeah. That came out this week, right?
Yeah. And they had hinted at that last week. So, yeah.
And I mean, at least they are acknowledging it, like, unlike their defensive players.
Well, that's the thing. Their defense might let up so many points it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like I mean, honestly, like you probably could give I really like Judkins in this, partially because he plays the Bengals week 1. Like,
yeah,
like it was not yesterday, but the day before, I kind of went over like rookies in Eliminator. Like, I understand that like rookies usually start slow and all that. A lot of them are way under. Like Pat Bryant goes at 160 and like BBM, even like 150 sometimes now. He still goes at like 190 in this format. A lot.
And never forget,
I have 37%. Like, like I'm not scared of it.
Rookies don't really start slow. Like McMillan last year got so many opportunities. He just literally dropped and went through his hands. But like, these rookies that get to start day 1 don't necessarily start slow, quote unquote.
All right. So we have two running backs, Bijan and Chase Brown. We got Rasheed Rice. Uh, all the quarterbacks are gone. Um, do you want to go elite upside? Do we want to bring up Kamara for something different? Lean into Hampton?
Let's let's
4 seconds.
let's bully the room with Kamara. Nice, nice. I had to make sure you had streamer fingers.
It's 50-50. Like, so I'm a PC gamer, but
Ah, I could tell that was smooth. That was
I
clean.
don't know all the tricks. Like, I've tried that trick that Dog Pound does to where he hovers it and like gets
I
himself.
taught him that. I taught him that.
And I cannot do that. Like, like the quickness stuff. Like I could usually do.
And you know what? Whatever works for you. It's more impressive to me to flick it and get it last second than it is to buy four extra seconds. I
I
just
mean,
do it because I've got it down pat.
right. I mean, you're going to do what works, right?
Yeah.
Um, you
Yeah.
like Sutton?
I think Sutton is a good pick for
And
this build.
I do too. And like he puts you into Bo Nix, who I
Yes.
think has just a very safe amount of points. And
Yeah.
that's another team. Tennessee, Indy, Chargers, Cincy.
Hmm.
Then two kind of nasty games, possibly
Yeah.
Philadelphia
But if
and
you're doing a 3 quarterback build, the floor and ceiling that Bo provides you from a
yeah,
touchdown efficiency and also a rushing, scrambling ceiling and floor, and he's got a billion people to stack with. They will throw touchdowns and passes to every single fucking one of them. Yeah, it's a decent, nice pick, and Sutton just seems like the guy that the offense, uh, probably one of the only guys the offense will likely throw, uh, 7 to 8 targets a game on average. I'm not the biggest like believer in Ingram, and but yeah, just getting access to it. He feels a little overpriced. Like this is not a price I pay for in BBM, but in
yeah,
a contest like this, I think attacking the flex through a high floor, high ceiling,
tight end.
Kamara there,
Yeah,
and then just being able to build
uh,
out.
yeah,
Like to me, I'm building this out like I would a BR, and it's like I'd
that
rather have
makes
an
sense.
RB in my flex, for
Oh,
floor and
oh yeah. I
ceiling and cash.
so man, I think the back half of the board in Eliminator is just rough.
Yeah.
Like I really do because you you see how much higher. Like this is 10 picks higher on him.
Yep.
I mean, RJ Harvey went at the same spot. Like this is what you need. Like he only had to pull Montgomery up like half a round, and Harvey went at, but he might start slow, right? Like that's why he goes a little later.
Yeah.
But like that's an insane start. You just have to worry about those running backs, and you just have to hope the room doesn't destroy running back. Like honestly, if it's me, a lot of the time with those four or three running backs, I would have just smashed Hampton too and just called it good
Interesting.
with four different bye weeks,
Hmm.
and then and like just play a hyper like it's a very fragile style tournament anyway.
Fair. Yeah.
Um, like I don't mind just going for like, and I like this. Like I need to get more Sutton in this because Sutton's a very good pick, and I don't have enough Bo Nix with Sutton.
Yeah. I think Eliminator is a contest you have to get comfortable playing ugly with and just view it
Yeah,
as if I'm building out a lineup to go head to head, week 1, 2, and 3.
yeah,
I'm going to be heavier the high floor, high ceiling running backs, and I'm just going to attack receiver
yep.
through
Volume.
good floor ceiling and hope to get lucky.
All right. Jacoby kind of fits this format very well. We can sort by ADP. That's
I
fine.
love the receivers here, frankly.
So you like Jacoby there?
Yeah, yeah. Jacoby's good here because he's in the starting lineup.
And
He's got his primary boundary role, and he's also getting moved inside. If the pace is high, like boom, boom, awesome.
and
He
with
he
those
unlocked a
two
new ceiling last
players, we
year.
can absolutely like just smash upside plays now,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like we have our floor here, so upside here we come. And like the reason I'm okay with like the hyper fragile a lot in this, and we'll see next year if it makes sense or not. But like you're not like you have a 25% chance to even get to week 3, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like, do you like if you get to week 10, I think it pays for the whole tournament.
Mhm.
Like
Godwin for sure. I'm good with
yeah,
his
I
his
have
ADP's his ADP's too low when we take into all the context that he's
I don't
almost assuredly starting week 1, which his ADP does not reflect, and 2, the doctors say he's going to be near 80% physical. What do you call it? Like physically back till about week 7 to 9, halfway through the season, to be back to 90 to 100. Well, guess what? I did the math. I was curious, and I was like, what is roughly 80% of Godwin's stretch last year?
of his 17 points a game or his 16 point.
Yeah, exactly. It's 80% of that production still outscores Jordan Addison. Fun fact.
Yeah,
So the fact that he's starting week 1, I still think he's a solid, like, because again, but the way that, and that's 80% physical. And that's not quite 80% production. And the reason why it's not quite production is because Godwin's got a 9.6 something RAS. So like he was already like a really good athlete. I know he's over the age of 25, but he's still a good athlete. He's seemingly on track with his recovery. And what people forget is that the injury stuff sucks because you're physically not the same, but it potentially makes it harder for you to do what you do and earn volume. The difference is, and I agree with everything Steve is saying in chat, the difference is these guys that earn a shit, like the strong target earners, these strong opportunity guys, you can not realize the dip in efficiency if the volume basically stays the same or overlaps. So like guys like Rice and Godwin, these high target earner power slot guys, guess what? They're going to see so much volume that it's not going to matter because they play an easier role, and I love that. It's an easier role, but it's also like you don't have to, like, the role itself and the targets it earns and the player like that. I don't think you're going to realize the dip in efficiency as much as you think versus a guy like Ayuk who plays boundary, and any dip to his physical acumen affects how open he can get versus a
yeah.
guy already getting easier releases in the slot like Godwin does.
Well, he gets the easy releases, and not only that, but like it's a lot more about understanding the zone. Like it's more of a mental thing in the slot
Absolutely.
for a lot of players. So
Yeah, it's like running routes, when to break, when not. Like, yeah,
like is he gonna be able to break the huge long run? Maybe not, but like if he's getting 9 receptions a game for 80 yards, like who cares?
exactly. If he's
Yeah,
getting fed in the red zone, it does not fucking matter. It really
I
doesn't.
mean, like either one, right? We have
Yeah,
one,
let's get greedy and try to get both. Is my
right?
thinking.
Yep. I will say in this format, I take unstacked Burrow over here constantly because Burrow never makes it back to you, or unstacked Bo because
Love
Burrow
it.
never makes it back to me. Like, and by the
Love it.
way, I have my own custom rankings. So back to the hyper fragile thing as well. So it sometimes will blow up in your face, not very often, but because running backs are pushed up as well, like if you go like you go like a Jefferson and then 4 straight, like that's the way I like to do it.
Mhm.
uh you can turn the room into like just they're just feeding on running backs the rest of the draft.
Right. You've bled the room. Absolutely. Nice. Yeah, you've
Yeah,
bled the
very
room.
nice.
You're not losing out because the position you need is getting pushed back down to
and,
you.
and
Kind of
exactly
like, yeah, yeah. I
exactly what
don't
he's
disagree
saying
with
right
that.
there. Like
Yeah.
they're just winging a prayer.
Yeah.
So like I think it's a good move, number one, to get out of week 1
Yeah. I
because
mean,
you're putting more pressure on the room.
yeah.
Number two, like you're probably going to have a stronger running back room than the next guy's week 2, and like you're I think it's going to give you a higher floor to get through more teams further into the tournament. But we'll see. I mean, whenever it's all said and done, like Taj Brooks is going to be the number 1 point scorer week 1, and it's all going to go to shit.
Oh, I was gonna say the fun thing
Yeah.
about playing for week 1 is we forget how many fucking weird fluky performances we see in
Right.
week 1. Like
Yeah.
there's always somebody that goes absolutely nuts. That is
Rashid
everybody's
Shaheed.
right. Like
Like,
everybody's week 2 waiver wire target that you never use and hear from again, but he went off. But yeah, I think you have to build kind of like BR where the running back is almost always projected more optimal for the flex, and it makes sense, right? Like
Yeah.
the touches and opportunities they're going to get, the ability to score touchdowns is so much higher. Therefore, and that's why
Oh,
not only in this contest but on Underdog, I try to break ties to guys who have shown elite red zone opportunity like usage. Like Rice, Godwin, guys that see like heavy red zone usage are going to get more opportunities for touchdowns, and that moves the needle so much more. And it sounds stupid, and I can absolutely see that
yeah.
for
Yeah.
Damian Brown, but it's like that matters more because if they're going to see over the course of the season, like a dozen more red zone opportunities, their ability to smash ADP and like lap the field is so much higher than guys like Olave, who for they've been really talented target earners, but they've never had a strong red zone presence, and that's going to make them worse picks on a half PPR site where touchdowns and running backs project for the
Are,
highest ceilings every fucking
are
week.
you out or in on Janu at current ADPs? I
He's
I have zero worry.
fine.
Yeah, I have zero worry in the whole thing. Like, I still don't think their offensive line's great. So
Yeah,
I'm fine with either one.
I think I prefer Mark just because like he's got a stronger red zone historical usage. I still like Johnu because I it sounds like Miami knows their offensive line still sucks and they're gonna still have to get the ball out quickly,
Yeah,
which does
they came out and said we're gonna get the ball out quicker. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like,
And it's like, can
how
you
is that?
actually do that? I don't know that you can,
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm
Like,
always
is
gonna
that?
break the tie to Mark Andrews is still part of a better offense and a better quarterback and a better red zone role.
By the way, I did not shout out Mr. Mufasa who was in here. I missed him. Whenever I was reading out all the names. I am sorry about that. And then whenever I was double checking after I noticed that, I read the name here, Homie Claus, in the one hole,
And
which
he fucked
which
us taking Adams, and I will never forgive him.
I mean,
Nope, no, you took Adams from me. I have a list.
all right. So they got the list. Do we want to take a guy here with a stack? Do we want to go Johnu, Keon Coleman as another
I
Christian
think
Kirk?
White or JK feel like stronger picks here, so I'll leave it to you to
We'll
decide
go.
between.
Yeah, we'll take the team stack there.
Yeah,
We don't have a week 9 buy at that position, so that makes sense.
yeah. As much as I would have liked Jonu as a just fine thing, there's like this middle tier of tight ends are all
Yeah,
so similar for like 5 rounds, and we know that volatility is absolutely a thing. So I'm less like worried about getting a
and,
quality one because I just need the guy that scores a couple of touchdowns. Ultimately, we have
and
no idea who that guy is going to
and
be.
one reason I like Johnu so much, it doesn't matter as much in this because stacking is nice, but it's not required, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, and it gives you a back stack and a lot of options whenever
No,
you
for
like
sure.
if you've taken some guys, right, like a Zay Flowers, I
Yeah.
who I actually like. I like Zay Flowers for this contest. I don't like him in the other, like myself.
I like him in most formats just because he had his best season yet, despite dealing with some injuries mid and late.
Yeah.
Um, and again, at the end of the day, I'm always just going to take guys, attached to really awesome quarterbacks, really awesome offenses, because those guys have such elite floors and ceilings from the standpoint of how many points the team is going to score every week, and how aggressive the team could be. Lest we forget, fucking every Raven ate last year versus Kansas City in a awesome robbed
Yeah.
of a toe tap touchdown game week
I
1 last year. So
I don't know what you're talking about. None of the KC games were close last year. There was no bullshit. None of that happened.
dude,
We
man,
crushed everybody. It was never close.
we
I
were
didn't
watching
didn't
that.
we win, wasn't our average win like 12 and a half points or something? Like, yeah.
Man, that week one game was awesome because we were at the
Uh,
FFPC watch party in
yeah.
Vegas with all the ship chasing guys, and
So, like, it was a meme for me and my buddies. Like, I'm not the average case. I'm not the average fan because I'm more like a reasonable like thing.
yeah,
And
you
every week,
have a non-tribal brain attached to your
yeah,
head,
every week I was like, well, what kind of bullshit's gonna happen? Like,
right?
and like I called the block punt when it happened. Like, I learned the block field goal. I was like, I bet we blocked this field goal. And then it happened, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm happy it happened, but this is absolute bullshit.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kirk is an absolute
Yeah,
baller
early
here.
season Kirk feels more than fine.
Yeah. And like, you have to win. I mean, like the advancement rate brain is what you need here for
Yep.
sure.
I mean, yeah, his profile at this range feels more than fine.
Absolutely. Like he was 20 picks past ADP, I think.
Yeah.
Almost. I'm pretty out on Mims right now.
No, I agree. And I think the reason why to pass up on Jonnu was because the guy here available to us. Oh, fuck, you fucker.
Yeah.
I don't mind Eckler, and then we're done at running back if you want to treat it like that. Just
that's
attacking.
fine. Yeah. A
I
different bye
think
week
running
too.
backs with 50-50 roles, get red zone work on good offenses, also
Yeah.
catch passes are pretty good bets in a
And
contest like this.
that's something about this contest that I've noticed. Like the Benson and all of the contingent upside backs
Terrible picks at ADP.
they are not pushed down, and the guys with roles like Eckler and Rashad White
Yeah.
and like Dobbins has moved up, but like the rest of them, like Ramondre is going to have a role. Like he's a better pick in this, right? Ray Davis is going to have some sort of a role, right? But like
Pure
the
contingent
Algiers
guys
and
are
them
way too high in
generally,
1 minute. Yeah.
yeah, like those guys need to be pushed way down.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and like Austin Eckler is just old J.K. Dobbins. There's no reason for him to be priced 15 picks difference if we're being honest.
Yeah,
and
he's gonna have
old
juice at the
Rashad
beginning
White.
of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping
Was it Steve again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, we'll get Ferg. We're golden. Arbitrage Jonnu.
Yeah, so Steve kind of did exactly what I was saying. He got Kittle, and then he went the second guy. And I love Judkins for this. Like I prefer Judkins to Caleb Johnson in all formats, but like week 1 versus Cincinnati is a pretty strong case.
Very fair.
Like it's a pretty strong case. I don't know what matchup you would want more other than Carolina.
Yeah, I was gonna say like whatever your weakest rush defenses were last year that did
Jacksonville,
not address anything.
who we have no idea who's starting.
Yeah. I can't wait for both running backs to score twice and for everybody to be like, oh fuck, they were both great picks.
Yeah, it's Tank and LeQuint.
Dude, if
nobody's happy. No,
dude. Oh my god! First of all, LeQuint would be such a who was the running back that came and went and the undrafted running back from Jacksonville who none of us were drafting. And
you're talking about it was 3-year James Robinson.
Thank you. I can remember the guy that got hurt and didn't play. I couldn't remember the guy that was, a fantasy darling for a year and a half. But yes, would not be surprised at all. But it also would be really funny if like all 3 guys got work, all 3 guys scored, and you're just like, fuck.
I mean, it would essentially be the Jeremy McNichols thing, right? Like, I mean, essentially.
Yeah.
And who was happy with that?
Yeah.
No one.
Dude, you know what the sick fucking part is? I think McNichols had the highest ceiling game of any of those 3 running backs last year.
He didn't he have Steve will know. He might have had a 3 touchdown game.
Yeah, it was like a 30-point game. It was insane.
Yeah.
I think B-Rob's highest in half PPR was like 25, 26. It was.
I do think we need to attack either a wide receiver and a tight end here for sure.
I'm good with that.
I love Cedric Tillman if he comes back, by the way.
That's fine with me.
I mean, like, see, Pat Bryant's 179 here, right? Like, I pushed him down the ranks because I had 37% of him. Like, I don't want to.
I think people are just afraid of rookies in general, and I think that's poor process. Not all rookies are created the same.
I mean, we could take Mims here. This is
Mims gives us 2 options to have who catches the touchdown, and it's
I don't love Mims, and I have so much Bryant. Like, I have so much Bryant, like it will hedge as well.
I think Mims at this ADP is fine because
Yeah.
like if we're thinking we get out of this
Like
week,
that's a 35 pick discount.
yeah, I mean at this cost, we're just like, hey, he just needs he needs to catch one of Knicks's touchdowns, and they've used him in such a variety of ways, and I'm like, I feel fine. He'll have some sort of role, and I like all three of the top tight ends for sure. And I think by doing Bo and Baker,
We're fine.
we've prevented ourselves from Strange is
Right.
awesome if we're on the clock.
Yeah. So either one's fine.
I like Strange.
I do as well. And something else I will say with this and what I've been trying to do personally, like I don't mind stacking, like doing a double stack. I don't want to double stack wide receivers that often, honestly, in
Agree
this. Um, and I definitely don't want two pass catchers if I don't have the quarterback. Like I am
for sure.
making sure I
Yeah,
like
headless stacks feel bad. I normally
like
would agree to avoid the double stack, but these some of these
if
offenses like Washington, like Denver, they have so much Mickey Mouse bullshit to them that I don't want to preclude myself from the floor that Knicks allows me that everyone in this offense catches random, and that's hilarious, Adam. What a good fucking rep. Um so it's like, yeah, it's we've seen Mims have such a strong ceiling that we have no idea, we have no confidence where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how it's going to come out. But he'll mix in at some point. We've seen him do it deep, like boundary. We've seen him do it as like a pseudo running back. So it's just like I don't love his cost, and but at this
I,
cost, it's like, well, it's part of the offense, and they do a bunch of Mickey Mouse bullshit. And if he catches a touchdown, he hits my lineup.
right, I mean this feels like what his cost should be.
I yeah,
Like like I if like there's the whole don't catch the falling knife thing, but like when it's a 30 pick fall, like
yeah.
that's probably closer to where he's actually going to be
I
than
mean,
like
look at the names he's surrounded by. It's like, okay, he runs
Wandale.
less routes, but he looks more talented than Wandale.
And
He
who and he gives you a game clinching upside that
right,
these guys
yeah,
probably don't. Tillman
yeah,
might, but
yeah. I mean, Tillman, maybe the best case of any of those guys. This is funny that McMillan is going at 178 in Eliminator, but he's still in the top 160 in BBM. That makes no sense to me. Like
uh
like this makes more sense. Like he's not a lock to start on the field
well
week
I think
one.
they're different ADP pools. So there
He's
were
still going too high in BBM, is what I'm saying. I
I mean
don't get.
he is absolutely like I'm
People are
not gonna
so
argue that.
anchored to the touchdowns. I mean, he's. I don't. I sincerely, I don't think any receiver's ever seen 140 targets and done less with it than Wandale Robinson. Truly, truly
Yeah.
incredible type of shit there.
I just want to shout out to everyone in the chat. We've had 30 viewers like most of this time, and we've
Hell yeah,
been sticking at 30 likes. Like that's fantastic.
fantastic.
Like
Shout out to everybody.
that's awesome. Who crew represent.
Who crew?
Yeah, and by the way, that chart that I've been showing, if you go to the descriptions, there's the Who Crew Discord, and in the Eliminator section, I have that whole thing pinned to there. So like if you join the Discord, you can go there. You get access to looking at that read only for absolutely free.
We love free 50.
Yeah. All right. So I'm fine with any of these wide receivers or
Yeah,
a tight
same.
end. What do you want?
Let's take a look see at the wide receiver buys real quick to make sure. Let's just
We're
split
good.
hairs there.
A 12.
Let's go Slayton or Pierce. I don't care
I
which one.
I clicked the
Good.
wrong one.
Good. No,
Yeah, it's
you're good.
fine.
I like either guy. They're both like it doesn't matter. I'm just thinking
What?
like
All
boundary
right.
receiver.
Question on Pierce. I personally and I believe that Danny Dimes is a better fit for Adonai Mitchell than Alec Pierce.
You might be
Do,
right. I don't think it'll
I
matter depending on what the coaching staff
Ad,
wants to do.
oh, hold me clause. I mean, he took the stack though. He took a Rich. Do we want to? I don't think we really need to worry about any of those. Um,
Can
I
I
mean,
can I make
we're
an
awesome.
observation? Is Russell Wilson a great pick in Eliminator?
Yes, absolutely.
Then let's
Like,
grab Russell Wilson.
yeah,
Yeah, my thought process was the
I
Giants
I
early
came to
season are underpriced in this contest, so why not just grab
yeah.
those guys?
Yeah, no, I actually came to this conclusion earlier this week. Like I've done this is my 42nd eliminator, and it took me until now to realize, Russell Wilson's probably the best pick on the board. Like literally the best pick on the board. And it makes it makes me like Malik Neighbors even more in this contest because
Mhm.
you have an absolute you just start taking him in the 16th round to guarantee it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
and then you just take three quarterbacks, but you've one of them is the 16th round, and there nobody else is going to be doing that, right? Like so, you just take Neighbors and get a free stack.
Well, yeah,
You
in
get a
this
third
contest,
quarterback,
the second that he gets announced the week 1 starter, he rises to at least Rodgers, right? In like the 170 to 160s.
right? And the Giants, by the way, at Washington, at Dallas, KC, Chargers at home, at Saints, first five. Like
A bunch of teams they have to score or go home.
I love Scatabo right now in this format because of that. But Neighbors is such a smash as well. And I have a ton of Darius Slayton, and Slayton was the right pick. So whenever I said I'm the game, sometimes if you don't click the star exactly, it brings up that and then it fucks
Mhm.
everything all up. And
Yeah.
that's what happened. I I fumbled the bag.
I to be fair, so I think Slayton I would prefer in this contest simply because I think his playing time, his routes run are more stable.
Yeah.
Um, and I was hoping to just get a little bit of Giants action going there, but like you mentioned game breaking, like still in a head to head like weekly. I like this is the fallacy that leads you to losing more head to head matchups in regular fantasy. Is well, if I just get 10 from everybody, well, what
Yeah.
happens when your opponent has a guy that scores fucking 30? You are
Dude,
cooked. So it's like
are-
Pierce still has, multi touchdown deep threat to his game, and
I'm
that could
actually
bail us out of some bad spots.
I'm fine stopping with just
I
those.
don't think we need a third tight end for sure.
So I think we add another spike week chance guy like
Coker,
Scantling,
MVS,
Coker,
Ray
Coker would
Ray,
bye
yeah,
week,
any of those
bye
guys,
week's
cool.
different. Somebody took him. Ray's fine. Maybe if
Keep
he,
scrolling. Is there anybody super mispriced in this contest?
I mean, I'll click ADP. Um, I mean Deontay Johnson possibly. NWI. I've taken a share to a Turpin.
Mm.
Uh,
Lazard early season's probably not the worst pick.
which one do you want? Ray, fine.
Let's go Yoshi. Let's go Yoshi.
Sounds good.
A little Cincy thing. It's
Yeah,
leverage
yeah,
off of if he's caught 2 touchdowns. They talked about him adding weight, and being more of like a blocking slot. They've said he's had a good a good off season, and I mean it makes sense if they're gonna start hot. Everybody can eat, and so I don't mind getting one of the Cincinnati pass catchers because if he scores, it's leverage off of the other Cincinnati guys. And I'm always going to break ties in contests like this. I want good offenses, and I mean, you can make your cases for those guys, but it's easier just to see how a guy connected to a top 5 offense hits your lineup versus a guy connected to a dog shit offense, especially early on.
yeah, absolutely. So we'll go over the team. We got a 3-5-8-2. Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Russell Wilson. Very, very solid. Tons of upside with all of them as well. Running backs: Bijan, Chase Brown, Kamara, Rashad White, Austin Eckler. If we get to week 9 or 10, they may all be in walkers down here, but but we've
So be
already
it.
it's
So
fine. That's week
every
nine
other
or
team might
ten.
be too. Yeah.
Yeah. Wide receivers: Rasheed Rice, Cortland Sutton, Jacoby Myers, Godwin, Christian Kirk, Mims, Pierce, and Yoshi. I like how we got a monster here.
Mm-hmm.
Took two guys that are floor guys, another floor guy, and another it's we have three floor players here. I love it. I
And
love how that's laid.
a bunch of spikes and
Yeah.
upside shots mid to late season. I like that
I
a lot.
like you want to do that in every format, but I honestly believe it's the most important in this format to layer your teams.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, and then tight ends, Mark Andrews and Bretton Strange.
We tried not to take any guys on bad offenses, and I think we did a
Yeah,
pretty good job of that for the most part.
except for the target volume of
Hey,
how
we
much.
took the running back 1 through 3 weeks on our
Yeah,
team. Seems like good process.
yeah, it was a tough room, uh, for sure. Tutu is getting good coach speak. Yeah, I mean I have zero Demarcus Robinson, and I had quite a bit of Demarcus Robinson last year on the
Uh,
Rams, and he was actually a fantastic pick um, because he had like four. I think he had three really big spikes. Like he had like a 27-point week. Yeah, Robinson is on the Niners, right?
yeah,
That's why I
he
was saying
is.
like,
So I know people want to take him, and in this contest, like filling in for Ayuk. The problem is, yes, that's it. He's facing a 3-game suspension for violating the substance abuse policy during a DUI arrest when he was with the Rams. He will, and it will likely occur at the 2020 in 2025. So
uh,
he's looking at a 2 to 3 game suspension this season, which makes him an awful pick in this contest specifically. And then I don't think he's not
yeah.
a good pick
And
when you're
so
thinking about late season with Ayuk. He doesn't really have a role unless Jennings or Pearsall are gone.
where would you take Addison in this? Because he goes like a full round later.
Yeah, that's a good question. I
Uh,
think you take him in this contest, assuming that I would say take
the
him in a
legal system sucks.
well, it's just like, well, it's a max of a 3-game suspension. I
Right,
don't think it's automatically 3, and if it's only 1, no big deal. But I
right.
also think like um you're getting a piece of the Vikings offense really cheaply, and you can build like worst case scenario is 3. So like we did 8 in an 8 wide receiver room.
Yeah,
I think I can outbuild for missing Addison, and I think you can do that in a couple different ways. You can build through quantity, or you can take like um
right.
4 straight, and Addison is
Fifth.
your fifth, and then you
Right.
shut it down, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna play very few receivers, but I don't need Addison the first few." Like he's not my favorite click, but I think we might be getting a little too over our skis with how because like outside of
Like,
week 1, it's just head to head. Do you need every single receiver to hit your lineup to beat your other guy? Probably not.
yeah, in BBM, like he's slowly going. Like, and where do you think he's gonna once that suspension hits? Let's say it's 2 games. Is he gonna fall another round? And I'm just gonna have to take him every draft.
If he
Like,
does, it's not going to last very long. I like the. It feels
like
like the drops for guys are only when it's risking 4 to 6 games. If it's 2, I mean, I don't know that he falls that much.
yeah. I mean, I don't think so, but I've been wrong every time I've not thought so as well. And
No,
it's like,
that is very fair.
yeah,
I will end up with a shitload if people are going to overreact to the first 2 games.
yeah,
Um,
through 6 weeks.
4
You're
why
not
4? Like literally the
well.
CBA is a max of 3-game suspension
Yeah, no, he
unless
has
it
a
was like what
he has
malicious
by week 6 is what Steve's
aggression.
saying.
Oh, I see.
So like 4 of the yeah.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. I see.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I
That's
seen
fair.
what he was saying. And like Addison is a very interesting talk in this. And like
I
for
think that what makes him different though is like he's a
he's
touchdown machine. So when
he's
he scores, it's winning you weeks. That's what's hard
yeah.
to like completely fade that.
No, I agree. Thought on Bitcoin's team. Yeah, we could do some reviews if people want.
Benjamin asking about his own team. Nice.
Right. All right. You got a 3-6-7-2. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. That's it. And Drake May. I'm not sure why you needed 3, but you got 3.
Yeah, if you're gonna bully the room like that, you gotta pull up May too. Like I'll just wait for like Russ or Rogers for the third at that point.
Yeah, I mean, he's killing this lobby. Like that makes me feel really good about getting Baker. Like I didn't notice that was going on. That makes me feel awesome
Yeah,
about
no, I
Baker
saw
Mayfield.
I saw Lamar Hurts at the double click in the 3-4, and I was like, we're gonna hit this sweet spot of
Yeah,
quarterback, and we're gonna be all right.
I actually missed it. If I wasn't
Okay.
on stream, I would have noticed it. But like I generally,
Dude,
yeah.
noticing everything in a room with chat and all this shit, like I definitely pay closer attention to the rooms when I'm not on stream.
Well, if I'm by myself, I notice all that. But with a
Yeah.
guest, like I'm not there yet. I'll get there. But
Oh yeah.
Devon Achan, Ashton Genty, Ray Davis, Trey Benson, Will Shipley, Jarquez Hunter. That's actually a really solid room. I don't love Benson for this contest, but like it's fine where you took him, you know.
If he forces a split and gets some goal line work, that's how it pays off. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just hoping to get
But I
the
mean,
handcuff for the back half, which is fine. For
I mean
HN
he's
and
got
Genty, you're hopefully set till week 8, week
right,
12.
and then Hunter, Ridley, Addison, Diggs, Xavier Leggett, DeAndre Hopkins, and Tutu Atwell. I mean, for starting late, like that feels really good. Uh, if Addison,
It's
like,
high. It's
like
high risk, high
that's the
reward.
problem.
Yeah, you
The
need
problem with
Diggs.
this is Addison. Honestly, like in this room, I don't actually love Addison
Yeah,
for
you
the visibility,
needed more early firepower because Hunter is the
like a
risk of
Mooney.
routes running snaps. Ridley is just like how good is Cam Ward, et cetera, et cetera. But
Yeah, like Mooney was still on the board, Downs was still on the board, like or Shakir.
yeah.
Like with that style of room, like the only thing I would say different is like I don't even love Shakir, but Shakir for this contest, especially doing what you're doing, is perfect. Like,
Yeah, Shakir buys you a piece of the Bills offense that may get you 12 points. I think I would have gone Mooney over both
yeah,
those
well,
guys.
I
Yeah.
will always go Mooney over
Yeah.
Shakir. Like
If
he
we want to
has
talk about it, if we want to talk about a bad ADP, it's probably Ayuk, because like Ayuk could start on the pup, and even if he doesn't, he could
yeah.
be pretty much not himself for like 4 to 8 weeks of ramp up. And they don't really need him to be good to go through him. So I Ayuk's probably the guy where it's just like you worry how he's going to react to the rehab process. Dude, I think we found out that pick sixes don't count for scoring in these contests.
uh
I think
I
someone
have not seen that, but I mean it just touchdowns. It doesn't say offensive touchdowns, right? So um so no, yeah, that's actually right. Receiving, rushing
yeah.
touchdown for
Yeah,
6.
a pick six would not
So a
count. I
pick
think someone
6
confirmed
does
that.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't
Yeah,
that a
I
bitch?
yeah, it's not listed.
So he needs to pick him off,
I
drop
I
it at the 1, and then scoop it for the touchdown. So someone
I
needs to tell Travis Hunter to drop and scoop to score his pick six.
I wonder if that is different from last year. I wonder if they changed this and it was just touchdown last year. But I believe it was this setup. So like, I believe it was even on both sides last year. So it probably still was. Yeah, that's interesting.
No,
Yeah, I mean, it would be even more funny if it doesn't count and everybody expects it does.
yes, no, McBride did get the touchdown for the fumble. Fumble recoveries do
Yeah.
count. So, like Nick of Go Bills asking why Mooney is a way better pick than Shakir. In my humble opinion, Shakir is a rotationary slot s guy, and when we're talking about pure routes run and we're talking about pure opportunity, Shakir's been efficient, but I think Mooney's role is just going to be projected. They'll probably project for similarly, but I think from a ceiling perspective, Mooney's got a higher ceiling when they have similar floors, if
So
that makes sense. Because I think Keon Coleman, Elijah Moore, Kincaid, all these rotationary guys figure to like eat snaps and routes from each other is all.
well, yeah. So this, I'm like 99% sure on this. Any fumble recovery with yardage is considered a rush. Like it's a fumble
Right.
recovery plus a
I think you're
rush.
correct. Yeah.
So I believe that's why that counted. And I believe if Travis Hunter had a fumble recovery for a touchdown, that he would get a touchdown, but not an interception.
I mean, I
I'm I'm
watched the
I'm
McBride touchdown count in my stuff, and
yeah.
I
I'm
was like,
not
oh my God.
100% sure, but I think that is how that would work. Where am I? Who are you? Well, like I think like are you wanting to do another one or like I'm
No, I'll
fine
probably
changing?
I'll probably
Yeah,
bounce off, but I did want to
me
just
too.
finish the Mooney point. Mooney saw like what is it? He saw 1,300 air yards last year. Shakir saw 548. And then targets. Mooney saw more targets. And then I wanted to look at the routes run. Let's see, routes run 503, routes run 353. So yeah, like Mooney's seeing 150 to 200 more routes, almost triple the air yards. Like we're talking about ceiling case. It's not close from just a pure profile.
Yeah, and like I was saying, Shakir at on that specific team makes sense. But if you want somebody who can win you a week, like it's not
Yeah,
Shakir.
yeah.
Like it's just not Shakir.
Yeah, if I'm taking Shakir, it's in a contest like this where it's like I'm getting a top 3 offense pick in my system. I know he's going to get efficient targets. He's going to project for like 4 to 4.5 catches a week. I know he's got some really good yak. Every once in a while he scoots for a touchdown. Um if I'm trying to play catch up for making sure I have potential, double digits at wide receiver, for sure Shakir, but does not get my hips shaking and not lying.
All right. Yeah, there we go. I wanted that nice even number. uh but yeah, tell everybody where they can find you. I got all of his details in the descriptions, I believe. So I think you just have the X and the Fantasy Sanctuary site. So
Yeah, no, appreciate you. Thanks for having me on, Who. Everybody here, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe, hit the like, support Who Hames. Awesome dude. Supports a lot of the chats, the streams. He's got sharp takes. You heard it here first. He's playing all the stuff. Super great dude. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, Fantasy Sanctuary live every Monday. We've got guests for the BBMs. We're gonna start doing some brunch streams on the weekends for some drafters stuff. Use promo code Sanctuary if you're new to drafters. Some soft PPR full scoring. I'll have to go back and look. I saw 100 targets for Shakir. Anyway, maybe those receptions. Anywho, lost my train of thought. And Tom is rock and rolling in the FFPC streets. Promo code TFS for your first time on over there, doing some of the Superflex drafts. So he's having a fun time there. He'll be going live doing some of that stuff. We've got some fun stuff cooking for some guesting stuff. And as you mentioned at the start, if you didn't get to check it out, go check out JJ Zacharysen's late round quarterback, becoming a best ball bro. I was on this week's episode, so he's really scraping the bottom of the barrel, but I'm happy to get scraped up with the scoop, and it was a fun time. So go check it out. Go leave a comment. Flood his comments so that we can rival Liam's chat for wild and funny comments on the video. But other than that, everybody have a great week and a great day, and I'll catch you all around in the streets.
hey, yeah, thank you for coming on. I had an awesome time. It was, and we built really solid teams for sure. So
No, this is good. We'll have to link up again and build some monsters. Late season BBM and win all the money.
sounds good. See ya.
Catch you later.
All right, everybody. We are entering a 20-second puppy but superflex, and we will enter in 10 seconds. Oh, there we go. And it almost instantly filled. So hopefully some of you were waiting because we got coolers at the 101. I believe Bengals is here. I got the 106. And I think that's it. I think I got one of the last spots. And I think that is it. I don't know. Maybe Roto Heat Craig B. That might be somebody in the Who Crew. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. I had a really awesome time. The chat did a really good job staying engaged. Mooney did actually score more than Shakir in half point PPR. I figured Shakir was higher. Yeah, and like it also came in spike like bigger spikes as well. Ducked out of the overflow. I want to thank me most importantly. I was the final spot. Yeah, like I was hoping that there was a pre-flow or that some of you guys jumped the gun a little bit. That did not happen. Thank you for drafting with us. Don't blink. Thanks for stopping in. Back home at Superflex. This is my 88th Superflex, I think. I'm close to fill rate. I won't be able to do it is 60% filled now. I won't be able to do very many drafts today or over the next 3 days. So I wanted to get ahead just a little bit. I mean, what happened? All right. We got Jamar Chase going. So I get Joe Burrow at the 106. I now have like 5 shares of Burrow. Since I complained about it on stream, I've been stuck at the 5 and 6 seat, and I've been getting Burrow every time. So I'm this might be one of the last times I take Burrow. I don't. He's not a guy I want to be overweight to. I just didn't want zero. I think we're like 30 days out from full training camp. Wonder if it fills before then. The Superflex, the Superflex max is 150. It's actually a large contest. It's like 225,000. It's the same exact structure as the original puppy. 2 of 12, 1 of 10, 1 of 10, 375. Same payouts, 100,000 to first, 75 to second, 50 to third, fourth 25,000, fifth, like same way. Get to the finals, you get your money back. Yeah, $750 is to max. Get to the finals, you get your money back, and you play for $100,000. And that is right. Quarterbacks matter. Absolutely. They haven't released any more puppies to keep the Superflex filling. I don't think that's it. I think they haven't released the other puppy because the mini Schnauzer 2 is still open. Once the mini Schnauzer 2 is close to filling, I'm pretty sure it's going to they'll release something else. Like the Greyhound's still wide open and the mini Schnauzer 2. They do real I'm positive they realize that a lot of the people don't want to do Superflex and refuse to. So yeah, I that would be the worst. The slow puppy. I'll take Genty here. This is probably reasonably unique. I guess man, Genty's fallen all the way to 19 here. That's different. Well, yeah, I bungled my Greyhound. I thought it was going to fill that opening weekend because the first 2 days it got 40% full, and I was going to have to work a bunch. So I did it. I bungled it. Slow Eddie. I'm slow enough. uh, so yeah, we definitely like I would probably do like 20 in a slow puppy, but I don't love slows myself. I don't mind them if I can get like at the end of a time box tournament doing some and keeping it under like 30, I think is fine. But there's no way I'm going to have 150 slows going. I've said this to you before, but CMC rising and Genty plummeting makes no sense to me other than touts steaming him. Yeah, like Genty's role hasn't changed, right? Like, or the perception of his role. We haven't heard anything, yes or no. And I hope he keeps falling. Like, I don't want to have less Genty, but I do want to take the elite wide receivers over him in regular style contest. So I definitely want to, I would love him to be at the turn so I could take him sometimes. Like, I have a really hard time taking Genty over Nico Collins. I really like Nico. There's something wild going on in this room. I'm going to go ahead and take Nico Collins here. Um, Probably not the best move. This is not anything I would normally do, but there's a small chance I can get CJ Stroud back. I don't think it'll happen. Roto probably takes two, and so does Show Me. Uh, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. No, Roto is actually going to try to. No, I guess Goff went here. So I get it. CMC used to be great, but tendonitis both his legs. Is it going to be the same? I don't care what voodoo doc you see. How I help Kittle. Every day CMC sells healthy. ADP rises. Right. But they also basically lied about his health the entire offseason last year. So don't worry, Ben. Everyone missed it. I got into it. It was one to fill. Coolers got it. Everyone else got they struck out. People are cautious because CMC has been a bad pick 3 of the last 6 years. Yet people take Nico, who's essentially rocking the same batting average without blinking. Yeah, but when Nico misses, he's not missing the entire season. It's a much different. Like to me, it's much different. Like, ugh. Guess I'll pull. Like, I don't like this at all. I'll just pull Gino up, stack with Genty. I tried something. I don't like this. I hate this team already. Uh, this is why you don't take like why you don't take the wide receiver there, and you go ahead and just take one of the quarterbacks. Um, because it never works out. The quarter and it shouldn't have. But the problem is this right here. This 4 quarterback build really really is going to mess with the room. Like I'm probably going to have to pull somebody up like Daniel Jones or something nasty at some point. Or I'll probably just rock with 2 and end up taking 6 quarterbacks with a bunch of backups at the end of this one. Nico is batting like 1 out of 4. Super low on CMC, like 12% Nico. Pointing out my own hypocrisy. You're right. CMC's floor is way lower. Right. Like Nico does miss time every year, but when he's healthy, he is a smash. And yeah, starving the beast strategy. Yeah. Yeah, he's starving. He is starving the rest of the room for sure. I might get lucky and actually get an okay quarterback back here. I mean, I could just. I'll take Cam Ward if Cam Ward's available. If not, I will take either one of these 2. Um, yeah, we'll take Cam Ward. The double by week 10 kind of sucks, but that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. It makes me feel a little better, but still not a big fan of it. I did stack up Gino with Ashton Genty, so that's fine. Burrow, I won't be able to get a stack with. I'll probably try to get Gesicki later or something. And Ward is pretty easy to stack. So, yeah, so I'm actually 11% CMC, but I knew that we were going to get more. Like in non-super flex, like in the regular, I have 150, I think, done now of the BBM style contest. And I was like 11%, but my slows haven't finished. I didn't take him. So I'll be at like 8%. But I basically took him at the 1-2 turn every single time he was available until he started going before. Because if bad news came out on CMC, he was gonna like fall and like I'm gonna do like 1,000 drafts this year total. So if I'm going to do 1,000 drafts, like that's 10% of my like if it's 12 or if it's 13% of my 1,000 drafts, like that's fine. Like that's 13, 14 shares. Like I'm fine burning those entries. And like I know for a fact that I'm not going to push him up the board. And if I'm not going to push him, like I'm not going to chase him up the board, that is. And if I know I'm not going to chase him up the board, like I needed to get my shares then because I didn't want 0 of them. You'll end up with 5%, but yeah, right. So like I knew that was it was one or the other was going to happen. So I just hedged my bet and I'm like, I don't really want to be in on him, so I'm going to just smash him over and over again because legit, like it makes sense that he gets pushed up way up the board. Like it actually makes sense that that happens. I'm personally just not comfortable with it. We'll go ahead and take Harvey here. Um, so through 6, we got Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, Cam Ward, Ashton Genty, RJ Harvey, and Nico Collins. I'm comfortable not clicking CMC once at his ADP. I don't mind being in the minority. Well, at his current ADP, I'm not going to click him. But I did all of my clicks before he was going ahead of like I will never take CMC over Malik Neighbors or Puka Nakua. And that's what you have to do now. And I'm not going to do that. Like I will take Neighbors and I will take Puka every time. And I will probably take Nico and even BTJ over CMC almost every time. And then there's people like Hartman, and I'll chase CMC to 101 if I have to. He's the highest upside of any player. Play to win. Is he? Like I just because he's done it before doesn't mean that his upside at 29 has that pure ceiling after the year of not being able to play. Yeah, exactly. He had the highest upside. And I know that that treatment helped ended up helping out the other guy. George Kittle. So like when CMC did play last year, granted he was coming off of an injury, right? Like he was fine, like he looked fine. He had okay fantasy weeks, but he didn't look the same and it might have just taken him some more time to get there. Uh I don't think like it's kind of like it's a volatility thing. Like is the 101 upside worth the risk that you have to have for him? Like in my mind, it's not. Like I don't think the odds of him hitting that. It's kind of like last year. The odds of Saquon hitting what he did was so low. Like it happened, but like from a like that doesn't mean that it was likely to happen. Like I don't think it's likely for CMC to put up 22 points a game. I I would put that under like under 3%. Like that's and if all the other running backs don't have that downside and they have 20 points a game, like yes, 60 points over the course of a season, or I guess it'd be 38 points over the course of a season is a lot. And it mostly matters when they spike, right? But I personally the amount of risk I'm taking to get that possible 2 extra points, like I don't think it's in my eyes, it's not worth it. Like that's just how I will feel. It's how I do feel, and I'm not. My mind's not going to be changed on that. Now at the 1-2 turn, it was fine. I'll take Calvin Ridley, and I'm perfectly fine with like other people believing that that upside is worth it. Like that's just a player take thing. Like I'm not faulting anybody for their take on CMC. It's a like the CMC take to me is a tolerance thing. Like what do you like? Are you able to be tolerant of his potential collapse, or not? Uh, are you willing to, if he smashes, to just be okay with that? Like, and for me, if I have to chase him above Puka Nakua and Malik Neighbors, I'm not willing to do that, and I'm not going to be willing to do that. We will win with Demont Pickens and rookies being rounds and rounds better. Yeah, and yeah, so I mean that's my take on the CMC thing. And I mean, I also, if you've been watching me for a while, I took 0 shares of CMC in the big board, in the bigger board, or in the little board. In the little board too, I took some because the news finally came out that he was somewhat healthy. And I don't regret it. Like, I don't have a regret because I wanted to make sure before I took any shares of him that he was supposedly healthy. And I mean, he has to absolutely crush that, like absolutely crush that ADP for it to completely kill you. All right. And I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible for him to do that. Like it is possible for that to happen. Absolutely. I don't get to a lot of B Rob, and I already took him once, so I'm going to take him again. I just don't feel like we saw anything to say CMC is washed if he's healthy. No, I will agree with that as well. Like there's a difference between being washed and not being old CMC. Like because old CMC is one of the best running backs we've ever seen. Like it's just like Eckler. Like if Eckler isn't a bad player anymore, but he's not old Eckler. Um, and like that doesn't mean Eckler's washed. And like CMC was a better player by far, right? And I'm not saying he's going to fall that far, but like you have to dodge all of that. Like he has to be as good as he was those years. Like, and he's 29, but he's been injured a bunch. I believe he's 29. Let me make absolutely sure uh, that I am saying that right. He is currently 29. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like everybody talking about his ceiling, but that's like I'm trying to project what's going to happen in this season, not looking at what happened in previous seasons. Also, like something I've not heard very many people talk about on this whole thing is his success with the Niners and the Niners' success running the ball is like very much tied to how good that left tackle, that insane left tackle. I want to say, is it Trent Williams? Like it's Trent something. But that man is an absolute beast, and he battled injuries last year. And I wonder, like, he never really came back, right? I haven't heard anything about his health this year, and I haven't really looked for it. But maybe you guys know if he's supposed to be 100. Like, does he look like old Trent Williams? Like Trent Williams is old, isn't he? He's pretty old. I'm finding it right now. Trent Williams. Yeah. Trent Williams is 37. They didn't draft a replacement for him. They didn't sign. Kansas City signed the guy who replaced him last year. So I don't know if they even signed anybody. But if Trent Williams isn't old Trent Williams, that also massively affects the CMC price. Yeah, no one expects that. I will read that when I've made my pick. All right, I feel really good about these running backs. I felt like I was going to be behind, but I think I did a decent job at coming back. I will take Mark Andrews. I think Mark Andrews is kind of mispriced. All right, so the hype prices for Niners in general are almost as high as the KC wide receivers, not named after a California cities. uh, no, yeah. I mean, like, and there is a world where CMC plays 12 games and still is a smash in the first round. But with that being said, like that would be it could be like he's the guy you needed in the fantasy playoffs kind of thing. And you could still be right on like you were wrong because you don't have him in the fantasy playoffs, so you get bounced. But you were also right because he does get hurt and he's extremely hard to advance. Like there's definitely a world where both are true. Or that he crushes the season and week 13 he goes out for the rest of the season and misses the whole fantasy playoffs. So you got a whole bunch of CMC teams in the postseason that are just limping around because they had CMC. That's also very viable as well. There's plenty of outcomes where the Niners are great and passing up a storm and CMC is healthy. I just don't feel like we're getting a reasonable price on that outcome. Right. And like my fade on him at his current ADP, it's not necessarily a fade on him specifically. It's more of a fade on uh like the price. Like it's a value thing. Like I have nothing against CMC. I love watching CMC play. Like if it's old CMC, that like it's hard to find somebody that looks smoother running the ball. Like the last guy that looked that smooth in my mind was LaDainian Tomlinson. And like if you have 15% CMC and 0.6% Saquon, I would question how you evaluate re-injury risk. I mean, I'm gonna end up low on both of them. Like if Saquon was going at the 1-2 turn, I'd have a bag, but he's not. Like I think Saquon should go at like the 106, 107 myself. Uh, and in drafters, like I was saying, I've started seeing him go there, and it makes sense because it's full PPR. And I do take a share or two of him if he falls to 4 or 5 in underdog. I just don't like the price, but I will take shares if he falls a little. And in Eliminator, I like him a lot more. And in actually weekly winners is the format I like Saquon the most because the NFC East has 2 teams with terrible run defenses. So in weekly winners, I think Saquon he gets 4 games versus those teams. Actually, does anybody know off the top of their head what team that the Eagles play week 18? Because that will matter for this as well. I think I'm going to take Ray Davis here and just be done. Actually, you know what? We're going to take Isaac Garendo after all the CMC talk. Just because it feels like fate. So we're going to go ahead and pull Garendo up. It just sucks watching my Rashid ADP 34, 35, 45 shares get lonely as yeah, I had a ton. I had like 35% Rashid and I'm down to 25. Okay, so Eagles. So basically, Saquon gets 3 games versus 2 of the worst run defenses in the league through those 17 weeks. So like that's a really good pick for weekly winners in my eyes. And I think it's like I did take Chase the other day whenever I got 101, but I actually think Saquon is the 101. And I'm a Bijan 101 guy in all the other formats. But I think in weekly winners, it makes more sense to have Saquon 101 because of the ceiling games he's going to have a potential to with the NFC East defenses. Getting 3 of those games, 2 against Dallas, 1 against Washington, is fantastic. And on top of that, Jamar Chase plays against Cleveland twice and Pittsburgh twice. Uh, and Baltimore, like he always crushes Baltimore, but like like I think that is tougher than playing against the Giants twice. And like the Giants are going to be fine on defense, but I feel like you can basically pencil in 160 and 2 touchdowns versus Buffalo in a blizzard in week 17. For who? Oh, against the. Is that in Buffalo? I mean, that would be pretty funny. All right, we got. I mean, we definitely need a wide receiver here. Um, I'll just pull up Jack Besh. It's fine. I know he's getting hate right now. I'll just go ahead and take it. It's a stack. It's the first wide receiver stack I got there. I definitely need another tight end. I'm sure Coolers is the only one in here. I'll just pull Gesicki up if I can with my next pick. See, I can see Shipley getting a lot more work to make Barkley's workload manageable. Chase/Burrow can fill that sucker 17 straight weeks without making anyone bleak. Yeah, I mean, that's also true. Yeah. Yeah, and I also don't think that like it's that big of a deal with the because if Chase and Burrow are cooking, I don't think it matters who the defense is. Uh Now it does matter if their defense can stop anybody. Like their defense might be bad enough that the other team just runs the ball very slowly down the field. And they don't get very many chances to throw the ball. Like that's the only real worry in my eyes. So, but yeah, like I definitely took Chase 101, but and Chase when he spikes incredibly hard. Like very few people give the spike weeks that Jamar Chase gives, and that's why he's the 101 and why he deserves to be the 101. Sweet, we get the Gesicki stack there. Uh, right now we got a 3-6-4-2. Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, Cam Ward, Ashton Genty, RJ Harvey, Quinshon Judkins. No worries about rookies here. Brian Robinson, Jordan Mason, Isaac Garendo because of the CMC talk. Wide receivers, a little thin. Nico Collins, Rico Dowdle, Calvin Ridley, Rashid Shaheed, and Jack Besh. Tight ends, Andrews and Gesicki. We got the bring back here, Tennessee. We have a double stack, Jack Besh and Ashton Genty, and then we have Gesicki stacked up with Joe Burrow. I didn't like the way it started. I got bailed out by Cam Ward coming back. So, yeah, I mean, if Nico plays all 17 games, I think if you told everybody Nico was guaranteed to play 17 games, he would probably be drafted around CD Lamb. Like I don't know, maybe that's a hot take. But yeah, if he played 17 games, I mean, Nico would be up there around CD Lamb. Probably like he would definitely be up there for sure. But and I could easily like if he plays 17, I would not be shocked to see he's the 101 or he's the number one player. Yeah, absolutely. As long as he stays healthy, he is. And I'm very comfortably at 13% Nico Collins right now. And it feels really good. Like I will take all of my CMC shares and put them into Nico Collins if I have to choose between those two. Like I'm fine with that. Like that's a bet I'm willing to make. And I also think that wide receiver dries up way harder. I mean, there are arguments against him. The offensive line has questions. Um, they have a rookie wide receiver that's going to definitely start. I mean, there are some issues with them. Um, we'll take Adam Thielen here. It's been a while since I took Thielen, and this room kind of needs it. The offensive coordinator is an upgrade, and the offensive coordinator could actually just like the scheme can absolutely help an offensive line look a lot better. Sometimes offensive lines aren't good because of bad scheme. So maybe the scheme ends up filling some of the holes in how bad that offensive line was last year. So volume could be kind of low with a great defense. Like that is the biggest concern is like last year Justin Jefferson wasn't any worse. But that Vikings defense was awesome and they got way ahead in a lot of games. And they just didn't have to pass the ball in the second half. Not very often. So that is the one thing that could absolutely happen to Nico Collins. Like Houston's defense is insane. Like they are, for my vote, they're the 101 defense this year. Like I love that defense. So that to me is the one legit argument against him because I don't think teams are going to be able to score 22, 23 points against them very often. And that's probably going to age very poorly, but the take's out there. Y'all can make fun of me later. I'll laugh with you. Uh, so, and if you're just popping in, please smash the like. And if you've stayed with me for a while and you enjoy the content, give me a sub. And from the Twitter side or the X side, pop in over to the YouTube side. Give me a sub. The chat in YouTube is always awesome. Like it's actually the place to be. Number one, and number two, when I get to 253, whenever I get 253 subs, I will have PPR Tyler on the stream, and I will be doing a draft blindfolded to where I have control of the mouse, and he's just trying to guide me to clicking in the right area to make picks. We will be doing it. Obviously, I will have rankings loaded, um, and it may essentially be an auto draft by the end of it, but that's what we're going to try to do. I expect total disaster. I expect it to be fun. It sounds like a good time to me. Uh, there will be like some times that I will allow myself to look at the screen where uh, like if my mouse disappears off the screen for a while, like I will allow Tyler to be like, "Hey, your mouse is nowhere." Because like I got the dual screen set up, so if it gets locked to the other screen, like if it gets locked to, like I want to make sure it's just not locked to the other screen, right? Like it won't be like peeking at anything, but yeah. On that stream there will be no board. The board will never be up. And then at the end, the goal is to have him not tell me who I drafted, and then I get to review the team after I unblindfold myself. It sounds like a blast. We still need wide receiver pretty bad, but yeah, we'll take Thornton. He's got some buzz. Got both rookie wide receivers there. Definitely neat. Like we have Nico and Ridley. We have some spike week guys, possibly with Shaheed and Thornton. Besh possibly does something. Just kind of need some guys now. Uh, I've been taking a little bit too much AD Mitchell, so I am going to back off on that. I Is anybody else clicking any Alec Iomanner? I can't do it anymore. That bring back would be nice if it comes back to me. Slayden, feel free to tag me and dunk on me late season. I'll clip it and tag you on Twitter week 5. Sounds good. Oh, we never got to hear pro CMC guys late in the season. Hey, thank you for showing up, JT Bestball. And by the way, for those of you who do not subscribe to JT Bestball, head over there and give him a sub as well. Tomorrow night at he's doing a 6-hour stream. I'm not sure what time it starts. I believe it's 7 p.m. Central. I will be the guest at the 8 o'clock hour. That's the one thing I do know. So at 8 p.m. Central Time, I will be on JT Bestball's channel. I absolutely look forward to it. 6 Central, so I will be the third guest. He has one guest per hour. I will be the third guest. I look forward to it. I think it's Meg and then Sean Mitchell, maybe, and then myself. And I don't know the rest of the schedule. Also, Hartman here, Hartman Fantasy Football. Give him a sub if you are not. He's awesome. He is definitely part of the group that we have. He's a chat rat, and he's always in here making funny little quips. I love it. I'm the closer. CMC and Rice team incoming. What do you mean? Yes, it's in my X post today with everyone on it. Nice. I will have to. You must have posted that after I went live. I will retweet that whenever I get off of here in a few minutes. I mean, I don't. Okay, I was gonna say I don't love him, but this will be the pick. I don't love it, but we will do it. I'm the closer on JT stream. Nice. And I can't remember who else you have, but yeah, I will retweet it for anybody who is interested. And it looks like we will get there's no reason for us not to get Jermaine Burton. Like Yoshi Boss is still on the board. But I'll take Yoshi here or Jermaine Burton. We got a 3-6-8-3 quarterback, Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, Cam Ward, running backs, Ashton Genty, RJ Harvey, Quinshawn Judkins, Brian Robinson Jr., Jordan Mason, Isaac Guerrero. That is more than solid. Wide receivers, Nico Collins, Calvin Ridley, Rashid Shaheed, Jack Besh, Thielen, Thornton, Slayton, and Burton. Tight ends, Andrews, Gesicki, Okonkwo. We have a double stack here with Gesicki, Burton to Burrow. We have Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley, Chigakonkwo. And then we have Geno Smith with Ashton Genty, Jack Besh, and Dante Thornton. Not my best team, but it's a solid team. I do really like this team. It came together. It came together a lot better than I thought it would. After basically at this point, and he went 5 straight quarterbacks, by the way. And I will type your last pick in the chat, coolers. I will go through your team. 3-7-6-3. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, for a room that somebody took 5 straight quarterbacks, should not have went at 73. That is awesome. I seen that he was still there. I thought about taking a 4th. I did not. I bet you're super glad. Bucky Irving, James Cook, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Jaden Blue, Dylan Sampson, and Blake Corum. Don't mind that. You got the James Cook. You got all the Buffalo rushing touchdowns. Zach Wilson, quarterback 4. Nice. Tyreek Hill, Juwan Jennings, Matthew Golden, Cooper Kupp, Cedric Tillman, Joshua Palmer, Evan Ingram, Pat Freiermuth, and Jatavian Sanders. Yeah, very solid team. Expected no less. 3,134 point projected. That's nuts. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. Please smash the like and the sub. Leave a comment after telling me, am I crazy for my CMC take? Is it reasonable? Just let me know what you think. I will see everybody tomorrow night on JT Bestball's channel. Have a great night. Enjoy your weekends.